12 things women appreciate more than saying, I love you. Old Stoic Wisdom. Have you ever noticed that a woman can hear, I love you time and again, and still seem distant? It's because, though those words are powerful, they often don't ignite the fire we're all looking for. Sometimes, those words only strike the match. What we're about to explore is the wildfire, a deeper connection that transcends mere words. But before we get started, do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe. Not for me, but because this content is coming straight from the heart. This isn't just about checking off a list of tips or spitting out information. I'm sharing a voice that goes beyond logic and advice. This is for the part of you that's tired of trying to figure her out and is ready to finally feel seen, while making sure she never stops seeing you. What we're building here is a real connection, and I need your energy to keep this momentum going. Now, picture this. You walk into a room, same outfit, same smile, but there's something different in the way you move. You're not chasing her attention. You own the space. You sit beside her, not hoping she'll notice you, but making sure she feels your presence if she doesn't. Today, we're not listing off generic advice. We're diving into 12 ways to make a woman feel loved in ways that outshine I love you. This is for the man who already knows his value but is ready to make it unforgettable. We're throwing away the rulebook that told you to hold back, to be less, because being too much, when it's rooted in truth, is exactly what makes you irresistible. You're not here to be polite. You're here to be felt. So take this in. It's not fluff, it's fuel. This is soul work, dressed up as relationship wisdom. And when you finish reading, I want you to do more than just understand your power. I want you to embody it. If you're with me, say these 4 words aloud. I am the gravity, not the magnet, not the bait, the gravity. Now, let's set this fire ablaze. Number 1, the power of undivided attention. One of the most powerful things a man can offer a woman is the gift of undivided attention. Picture this. You're out to dinner at your favourite spot. The setting is perfect. The soft glow of dim lights, the smooth rhythm of jazz floating in the background, and the subtle intimacy that fills the room. She's sitting across from you, her hair a bit messy but still looking stunning. In the dress you love, she's telling you something that matters to her. But then, your phone buzzes. Just a quick glance down. It's a group chat. Nothing important, but when you look up, you notice it. The warmth in her eyes has dimmed. The connection that was once electric now feels distant, and you sense it in your chest. I just lost the moment. You think to yourself, life pulls at us constantly. Work, notifications, errands, demanding our attention at every turn. But in that fleeting moment, without even realizing it, you've made her feel unseen, unimportant. And that, my friend, is something most women won't voice. It's a subtle shift, but it hits deep. You see, women may not always articulate their needs, but they feel it when your attention slips away. They won't demand your focus. Instead, they'll gradually stop revealing the parts of themselves that were once meant to be shared in those intimate, present moments. The truth is, love isn't just about grand gestures or big declarations. It's about the quiet, attentive moments where you are fully there, listening, engaging, and that's where real love lives. It's not about gazing at her like she's some prize on display. It's about making her feel like she's the center of your universe, even in a crowded room. Now, I know what you're thinking, but what if she doesn't notice? What if I give her all my attention and she's still lost in her phone? Let me share a little secret with you. When you lead with presence, you change everything. You become the energy. You don't have to beg for her to reciprocate. You create the gravity that pulls her back. That's the magic of true presence. It's not about demanding attention, it's about commanding it. And the unforgettable ones, they don't need to be louder. They are deeper, and they leave a lasting impact. Now, here's a hard truth. A woman may forget the text where you said, I love you, but she'll never forget the look in your eyes when she felt, for that moment, that you truly wanted to be nowhere else but with her. That's the kind of attention women crave. More than words, more than promises. So, when you sit with her, be there, not with your mental to-do list or your fingers scrolling through social media, but with a calm presence that says, I'm here, and I'm here fully. Sit with her as if you're listening with your soul. In a world brimming with distractions, a man who is fully present is a rare, unforgettable force. And the kind of touch that comes from that presence, it's not just a gesture. It's a connection that lingers, speaking volumes before words even surface. As we dive deeper into this, know that this is just the beginning. Claim your presence. Step into it. You are the presence that changes everything. Because that's how women truly feel love. And that's the essence of Old Stoic wisdom, being in the moment, embracing it with an iron mind, staying grounded with Stoic principles, become the man who commands attention, and watch the world shift around you. Number 2, touch that lingers, not just passes. Gentlemen, picture this scene. You've just come home after a grueling day. Your muscles ache, your mind is a whirl of thoughts, and you carry the invisible burdens of your world, ones you've never quite found the words for. Enter your partner. She smiles, moves towards you, and pulls you into a hug. Not a fleeting pat on the back, not a hurried one. Armed squeeze while she mentally checks off her to-do list. No, she embraces you fully, arms wrapping around you, her heart pressing against yours. And you both just stand there, breathing in unison for a full 7 seconds. In those brief moments, something shifts deep within. Your breath slows, the tension in your shoulders eases, and without a single word spoken, her touch whispers, I'm here. You're safe. We're still us. That, my friends, is the power of real intentional touch. This isn't just skin meeting skin. It's something far deeper. It's your soul reaching out to another's, quietly saying, I choose you. I haven't stopped choosing you. It's no secret that touch, especially from someone you love, can calm even the most turbulent mind. Yet, so many men don't realize how much they long for it, or how much it speaks to their very core. The Stoic rules of life tell us that strength comes from within, but that doesn't mean we must carry our burdens alone. We are, at our essence, social creatures, and while we may not voice it as often as we should, we feel the need for that deep connection. We want to know that we're seen, heard, and understood. That's the beauty of touch that lingers. Think about it. A quick kiss can feel like a task you tick off your list. A fleeting touch is just that, a passing moment, gone before you even realize it's happened. But when the touch lingers, when it's deliberate and present, it doesn't just connect, it transforms. It's as if the touch is rewriting something deep within, rewriting the unspoken promises and commitments you share. This isn't just a fleeting thing, it's like music. The noise of a quick touch fades into the background, but the rhythm of a lingering one, that's what resonates. It's not about lust. It's not about the fleeting spark. It's about home. When you touch with intention, you give her more than just a physical embrace. You create a space where trust, safety, and love grow deeper than words could ever convey. In this world of chaos, where we're constantly bombarded by distractions, don't just graze past her on your way out the door. Take a moment to really be with her. Wrap her in your embrace like you mean it. Let her settle into the warmth of your presence. That touch, that connection. It's not just a passing moment. It's a seed. And as it plants, her shoulders drop, her heart opens, and the attraction between you deepens, not from desire, but from that profound sense of being home. The practical stoicism of relationships teaches us that true connection isn't always about grand gestures or over-the-top declarations. Sometimes it's in those simple, quiet moments, the touch that lingers, the hug that doesn't rush, the reassurance without words. So, don't let those moments pass you by. Choose to be present. Choose to touch with intention. That's how you nurture the paths of wisdom that keep relationships strong, grounded, and lasting. In the end, remember you must be there, in the moment. Don't just pass through life together, linger. That's where the real magic happens. Number 3, feed her body, but nourish her spirit. To truly nourish a woman, you must feed not just her body but her spirit. It's not about the meal itself, it's about the intent, the thought behind it. In a world that often demands women be strong, graceful, and self-sufficient, there's a quiet power in this simple act of care. Think about it. It's late on a Tuesday, you're both tired, the weight of life pressing down, you walk into the kitchen, and there she is, making your favourite meal. It's not the easiest choice, nor the quickest. It's what makes you feel seen, understood, and appreciated. It's more than sustenance. It's a moment of connection. When women sit down to a meal like this, it's not just food. They taste memory. They taste comfort. They taste your love. No words are necessary. It's in the way she exhales, in the way she appreciates that you took the time to remember what matters to her. This is not submission. It is an affirmation of understanding, of emotional intelligence. You're not performing a duty. You're offering a form of silent support. And in a world where women often hide their vulnerabilities, gestures like this speak louder than any "I love you" ever could. Even if you mess it up, burn it a little, or get flour in your hair. It's not about perfection. It's about the intention, the care that's wrapped up in every bite. She doesn't just feel full, she feels seen, chosen, and loved. This isn't about domestic duty. It's about deep emotional connection. As Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." In this act of nourishment, you strip away the unnecessary and focus on what truly matters: connection. Feed her, not to impress, but to care. Understand that the little things often carry the most weight. You must be present in the moment. Remember that true strength is not in grand gestures, but in the quiet, thoughtful acts that speak to the heart. Stoicism teaches us to master our desires, to know what truly nourishes us. The simple, seemingly small act, nourishing her body and soul, is a powerful tool to win in relationships, to master life, and to show, without saying a word, that you are always in her corner. This is how you win, not just in love, but in life. This is how you create a bond that endures. If you found this valuable, comment below, and share it with someone who could benefit from this wisdom. Don't forget to subscribe for more life-changing insights. Comment to remember. I cherish the small, meaningful gestures that create deep connection. Leave this in the comments to engage with our community and reflect on the power of genuine care and attention in relationships. Number 4, dress like desire. Don't misunderstand. It's never about impressing her. It's about reminding yourself that you're the flame, and she's just lucky to feel the heat. Let's be real, life gets chaotic. You've been wearing jeans, t-shirts, and hoodies all week. But then, tonight, something shifts. You decide to break the monotony. You step into that suit or outfit, the one that fits you perfectly, the one she loves to see you in. You walk into the room, and for a moment, her world pauses. She looks at you like she's meeting you for the first time. But it's not the outfit that steals her attention. It's the intention behind it. When you wear something that says, "I still want to ignite your passion, even after all the routines, the errands, and the years," it speaks louder than any words could. Now, you might be thinking, do I have to keep dressing up to keep her interested? The answer is no, not for her. You dress up for yourself. You dress up because it's a powerful reminder of your own worth. When you feel magnetic, alive, and confident, it's not just about catching her eye. It's about catching your reflection and thinking, damn, I still have it. Women, yes, are visual creatures, but they crave more than just a pretty face. They crave the energy of a man who understands his power and refuses to let the world dull his shine. That's old Stoic wisdom at play, the iron mind that refuses to bow to the pressures of time or routine. So don't dress up for her. Dress up for the part of you that remembers exactly who you are. It's not vanity. It's about embodying the Stoic principles of self, respect and self-awareness. And remember, you're not just reminding her of what you bring to the table. You're reminding yourself of the fire you've always had within you. Don't let life's hustle make you forget it. Number 5. Your health is her future. Let's be clear about something here. This isn't about numbers on a scale. It's not about chasing the ideal body or fitting into summer clothes. This is about something much bigger. A promise. A vow. Imagine this: you're lacing up your sneakers. You're stretching, taking deep breaths. You're moving your body. Not because society says you should, but because you want to live longer beside the woman you love. This is your subtle declaration, not of vanity, but of commitment. It's the kind of vow that whispers softly, I want to be here, not just now, but for years, decades even. I want to experience the life we haven't lived yet. Every deep breath, every stretch, every step you take isn't just a physical action. It's a promise to a future. And that green smoothie you're sipping, it's not a punishment. It's a declaration. You're not punishing yourself. You're preparing yourself to live a long, healthy, and fulfilled life with her. But here's the truth. Your wellness isn't just about you. It's about her too. When she sees you caring for your body, managing your stress, and fueling yourself with the care and respect you deserve, it gives her peace of mind. She notices the little things, the way you move with purpose, the way you prioritize your health, the way you stay present. She sees you caring for your body because you understand that it's sacred, and, in return, it shows her that your life together is something worth protecting. This is where the Stoic rules come into play. The ancient wisdom tells us that true strength isn't just about muscle. It's about consistency, commitment, and understanding that life is fleeting. When you take care of your health, you're following a path of wisdom that honors the life you've been given and the future that lies ahead. In this sense, practical Stoicism isn't about grand gestures or dramatic proclamations. It's about showing your commitment through your actions. Self-care isn't selfish, it's shared care. And when you treat your body with respect, you're teaching her something powerful. You're showing her that you are in this for the long haul. Your discipline isn't wasted. It leads, it inspires, it sets the tone for both of you. And that, my friend, is a gift that goes beyond words. Remember, your health is not just a personal goal. It's a shared vision for the future. A future you're building together, step by step, breath by breath. So keep going, keep moving forward. Every time you stretch, every time you walk, you are saying, I want a future with you, and I'm willing to fight for it. In the end, this isn't just about staying healthy. It's about staying committed. It's about showing that, through your actions, you're not only saying, I love you, you're proving it. That's the true power of the Stoic approach to demonstrate care. Not just in words, but in every single action you take. Keep following those paths of wisdom because your health is her future, and that future is worth everything. Number 6, speak into her strength. There's a quiet, unseen force that drives a woman more than words of affection ever could. Her internal struggle with her own sense of worth. Every woman carries within him a question that often remains unspoken. Am I enough? This question doesn't fade with age, power, or success. It's always there, lurking beneath the surface. And how can you, as a man, respond to this silent inquiry? You don't need grand gestures or dramatic words. Speak into her strength. Notice the small things she does, things she might not even recognize as significant. When she's in the kitchen, twisting off the lid of a peanut butter jar, when she takes the trash out without being asked, or when she unpacks the groceries, know that she's not expecting a pat on the back. But when you quietly acknowledge her actions, when you say, I love how you just take care of things without me having to ask, you change something in her. You don't flatter, you honor. This is where Stoic wisdom enters. Epictetus taught that true strength is in recognizing what's right in front of you and showing gratitude for it. Not waiting for recognition, but cultivating it yourself. When you recognize the small victories, the unsung efforts, you affirm her place in the world. Her chest might not puff out, but her spirit rises. The world may never see her efforts, but you do, and you communicate that. In a world obsessed with words, action becomes the true language of love. It's not the grand declarations that leave a mark, it's the everyday acts, the quiet acknowledgement of a job well done. By doing this, you create an emotional safety net that is worth more than 1,000 compliments. Stoicism wins when you choose to see her in these moments. You raise her not by praising her ego, but by nourishing her inner worth. It's this recognition that will have her feeling not only loved, but elevated. And a woman who feels elevated, who knows she is seen and appreciated, will always rise to the occasion, always give more than you expect. Don't wait for her to ask for validation. You must witness her, celebrate her strength, and speak into her soul. Epictetus was clear true power lies in recognizing what is before you and embracing it without fanfare. Speak into her strength, not because she needs it, but because you know it will help her rise to her fullest potential. That's how you win, and that's how Stoicism wins. If you find today's content useful to you, don't forget to share your feelings and lessons with us, or simply comment, "Very cool." It's a great encouragement for our channel makers. Thank you very much. Number 7. Freedom is the new seduction. Freedom is the ultimate form of seduction. Imagine this scene: she's on the couch, headphones in, absorbed in a video or some show about things you couldn't care less about. Fashion, cooking, or who knows what else you walk by. Take a casual glance, and instead of sighing, instead of asking when you'll get her attention again, you say, "Enjoy your time, babe. I'll see you after." No guilt trip, no pressure, just peace. And then she looks up at you, not with a sense of guilt or worry, but with the realization that being with a man who doesn't cling to her for validation feels safe, comforting, and liberating. Because here's the fundamental truth: a woman who's trusted with her own space will return to you with more of herself. You want to be irresistible. Stop panicking when she pulls away to recharge. The key to healthy love isn't about constantly being next to each other, it's about being present in the moment. Wherever you are, even when you're apart, she doesn't need you every second of the day. What she needs is the assurance that when she steps away, you won't fall apart behind her. That's what seduces a woman in a world drowning in neediness. Let me put it in Denzel terms: the man who allows a woman to miss him is the one who is missed the most. So when she says she's hanging out with friends, going for a solo drive, or simply getting lost in her own world, don't take it personally. Don't see it as emotional distance. See it as an investment in the relationship, an affirmation of her autonomy and humanity. Don't think you'll lose her by letting her breathe. In fact, you keep her by offering her that space, by letting her feel free. Watch as she returns to you, not out of obligation, but because she genuinely desires to share the best parts of herself. Old Stoic wisdom teaches us that to maintain an iron mind, one must balance independence with connection. The principles tell us that love thrives when both individuals retain their wholeness, allowing space to breathe without fear of disconnection. Don't stifle her spirit. Instead, embrace the freedom that allows her to come back to you stronger, more present, and more fully herself. It's not about proximity. It's about knowing that love isn't a constant need for attention, but the quiet confidence that you're both secure, both free, and both whole. Number 8. Drop the quickie like a fire starter. It's not always about making love slowly. Gentlemen, sometimes it's about showing her that your desire doesn't always require a formal ceremony. Picture this. She passed you wearing a nightgown, revealing her white skin and long legs. You're folding, lost in the rhythm of your task, but then you catch that moment. You feel that shift in the air. It's the unexpected spark, and before she even knows what's happening, you reach for her. Forget the candles. Forget the playlist. You don't need them. What you need is the presence of mind to seize that fleeting moment of desire. It's about letting your hands, your lips, your energy speak louder than anything you've said all day. No plans, no rehearsals, just real, raw, honest connection. It's not about perfection. It's about presence. That's the magic. And here's the truth. Intimacy doesn't need a reservation. Sometimes, all it needs is permission. Permission to be spontaneous, to drop the rules, and to act on instinct. Let go of the idea that every intimate moment has to be planned and perfect. This isn't about using sex to hold her attention, and it certainly isn't about performance. No, this is about possibility. You're allowing the moment to unfold freely. Under all your calm, your poise, and your careful structure, there's fire. Let her feel it. Show her that, even in the most composed moments, there's a burning desire just for her, because it's not about the length of time. In fact, in just 3 minutes, you can create a memory that stays with her far longer than any drawn-out rendezvous could. It's the surprise, the unexpectedness, the raw intensity of that brief encounter that will make her remember it. That knowing smirk you give her afterward, it's the whisper of, "I want you, always." This is what stays with her. This is what makes the difference. You might not realize it, but in that short burst of passion, you've left something lasting behind. It's like a song that gets stuck in her head, playing over and over again, even as she heads to work, the gym, or out into the world. So, drop the quickie, but not as a strategy. Drop it like a fire starter. No apologies, no explanations, just heat. That's the Stoic rule for intimacy. Be spontaneous, be bold, and don't overthink it. If you follow the paths of wisdom, you'll see that life doesn't wait for perfect moments. Sometimes, it's the unplanned encounters that leave the most lasting impact. In the end, the beauty of this moment is simple. It's not about following a rigid formula, it's about embracing the natural flow of desire. You must understand that true intimacy comes from the unexpected, the quick, the fiery, and the sincere. That's what keeps the connection alive. Number 9, thank her for the invisible things. In the world we live in, it's easy to overlook the small but significant actions that women do without expecting recognition. They don't seek praise for carrying in the groceries, fixing the broken sink, or picking up your favourite snack. But let me tell you, deep inside, every woman is asking the same question: does he see me? Does he appreciate the invisible things I do? This is where you, as a man, have the power to change everything. Say thank you, not in a way that feels obligatory or forced, but in a genuine, unexpected way. In doing so, you show her that her efforts matter. You show her that you recognize her contributions, even when she doesn't ask for acknowledgement. Thank you is more than just a polite phrase. It's a statement of profound respect. It's a signal to her spirit, telling her that she's seen, that her quiet efforts do not go unnoticed. Remember, women don't typically demand appreciation. They don't need it, but they feel its weight when it's given sincerely. You don't need to throw a celebration for every small action, but a thoughtful thank you at the right moment can do wonders. It says, you are not invisible. You matter. Your work is seen and valued. Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, taught us that the key to a good life lies in recognizing what we control and what we don't. When you thank her for the unseen, you are exercising control over something incredibly powerful connection. Life is busy, I know. You juggle your own responsibilities, and there's a longing inside you to be seen as well. But here's the truth. The man who acknowledges the unseen, the one who appreciates instead of expects, builds a bond that cannot be broken. The invisible is where real intimacy is nurtured. It's not about grand gestures or performances. It's about the quiet strength that comes from gratitude. So, let it be known. When you recognize her efforts, you are not only strengthening your relationship, but you are also cultivating a space where both of you can thrive. Acknowledge what's not always obvious, and you will find that the bond between you two is one that wins. Just as the teachings of Stoicism win, don't wait for a special occasion. A simple, sincere thank you can elevate your relationship and change everything. Make it a habit. Practice it consistently. It's not just about gratitude. It's about building a foundation of mutual respect and understanding. Don't underestimate the power of the small things. Thank her. and watch your connection grow stronger. Epictetus would remind you, in the smallest actions, the greatest victories are won. If you've made it this far, you understand the power of gratitude, the small, unnoticed things, the quiet acts of love. Those are the moments that truly matter. If you recognize the value of seeing and appreciating the unseen, comment below with, "I see you," and "I appreciate you." Let's start a conversation about building stronger connections. Number 10. Ask her opinion. Then listen like it matters. This isn't just a matter of offering advice. It's about fostering a real connection. You don't need to fix everything for her. You need to be a part of her world, offering insight, perspective, and even companionship in decisions big and small. Women often crave a sense of being valued, not just through the outdated provide and protect cliches, but through being genuinely respected for their thoughts and ideas. Picture this. She's sitting on the couch, scrolling through vacation spots or staring at a work email that demands a tough decision. Maybe she could call her sister, text a friend, or Google the options. But instead, she turns to you and asks, "What do you think I should do?" Not out of frustration, not sarcastically, but with real curiosity about your take on things. She values your opinion, and she wants to hear your thoughts because, in that moment, your perspective matters. You sit up a little straighter, pause, and offer your thoughts, not to fix her or control her, but because you want to show up for her. You're not being asked to make the decision for her, but you're being invited into her inner world. This isn't just about offering help, it's about creating a partnership, making her feel like you're not just a background character in her life. You become her teammate, her protector, her partner. Women want to feel that their partner is present, attentive, and invested. And this kind of interaction gives them that sense of value. By offering your opinion, you're telling her, "I am here for you, and my voice matters in your world." This is intimacy at its finest. When she asks you what she should wear for dinner, or which picture to post online, she's not just asking for a decision, she's offering you a chance to be involved in the choices that shape her world. This isn't about controlling her decisions, it's about being included in the process. You're showing that your thoughts and input are important to her, and when she feels like your voice is heard and respected, she'll open up more, trusting you further. This is where true connection grows. It's rooted in the Old Stoic wisdom and Stoic principles of emotional strength and mutual respect. You don't need to say "I love you" all the time. The real test of love is in how you include one another in the day. 2 day decisions that define your lives. Let her see that your thoughts have power, and she'll show up for you with an iron mind, ready to share, listen, and trust. So, don't be afraid to speak up. Don't hesitate to listen. Be present in the dialogue because, in doing so, you invite her into your world in ways that will strengthen your bond. That is the essence of intimacy. Number 11. Hold space for her unspoken. Picture this. She comes home late, walks through the door. The familiar sound of keys dropping onto the counter fills the quiet. Her smile is there, yes, but it's barely there, strained, like it's being held up by sheer will. Her body language says it all, slumped, exhausted, distant. You ask her how her day went, and she mutters a nonchalant, "Fine," but you know it wasn't. You can feel it in her demeanour, in the way her steps drag, in the tension in her shoulders. She grabs a drink, slumps into the couch, flicks on the TV, but her mind is a million miles away. It's the perfect moment for a decision. Do you push further? Ask again. Try to get her to open up. Or do you do something different, something deeper? You see, in that moment, she doesn't need you to question, pry, or press her. What she needs, what every woman needs at times, is the space to breathe, to feel without the pressure of explanation. Don't rush to fill the silence with words or well-meaning advice. Be present, but not overwhelming. Sit beside her, close enough to show you're there, but not demanding. Don't expect her to share. Don't push her to unload. Just hold the space. Simply be there, steady and calm. This, my friend, is one of the most profound things you can do for her. The Stoic rules teach us that silence isn't an absence, but a presence. Silence is strength, and when it's done with the right intention, it becomes one of the most powerful tools in connecting with someone. This is practical Stoicism in action, creating a space where emotions can move freely, without the weight of judgment or analysis. Sometimes, the best thing to do is nothing. Don't rush in with solutions. Don't feel the urge to fix. Just be the container, the calm center in the storm. Because, let's be honest, most women weren't raised to be emotionally open in the same way they are expected to be. But in that moment, when you hold the space for her to take off that armor, don't see it as weakness. See it for what it is, a gift. A woman taking off her emotional armor is not a sign of fragility, but a sign of trust. She trusts you enough to be real. She trusts you enough to be vulnerable. In the paths of wisdom, it's understood that not everything needs to be fixed, especially not feelings. Sometimes, the greatest act of love and support is simply being there in silence, letting the other person feel without pressure. In these moments, you don't just become the man she lives beside, you become the one she confides in, leans into, and ultimately feels safe with. Remember this, hold space for her. Be the man she doesn't feel the need to hide from. Be the silence she trusts. Be the calm in the storm, not the noise she avoids. That's how you become not just her partner, but her safe harbor, a place where she can crumble, but still feel strong, a place where she can speak without fear and rest without judgment. So, don't feel the silence, hold it steady, and in doing so, you'll create the kind of connection that goes far deeper than words. Number 12, frame the memory, show the now. In the realm of love, actions always speak louder than words. Epictetus, the ancient Stoic philosopher, often reminded us that it is not the words we say, but the way we live and demonstrate our values that truly matter. When it comes to showing love to a woman, there are countless ways to leave a lasting impression. Frame the memory. This is a lesson worth mastering. It's not about the fleeting words of, "I love you." It's about showing, through deliberate actions, that the moment shared meant something, that it mattered enough to be captured and preserved. Picture this. It's an ordinary Sunday. The music's playing softly in the background, and as you tidy up, your gaze falls on a framed photo, one that wasn't just a random snapshot, but a moment frozen in time. Perhaps it's from a vacation, or a simple kitchen moment, where laughter and love were captured without any effort, simply because the two of you were present, fully immersed in the moment. And when she sees that photo, when she looks at it just as you do, there's an unspoken understanding that resonates deep within her. This is not just a picture, it is proof of a bond, of connection, of love that endures beyond words. This is how you frame the memory, not just for nostalgia, but as a constant reminder that this love, this connection, is real. A photo on a nightstand isn't mere decoration, it's devotion. You are saying, "This meant something to me. It still does, and it always will." In today's world, where texts disappear into digital oblivion, and moments are often lost before you even have a chance to appreciate them, this framed memory becomes the anchor. It becomes the symbol of a love that stays, even when everything else is moving too fast. You're not simply reminding her that you're there. You're reminding her that what you have together is worth cherishing. And that, my friend, is where the true power lies. Don't just speak love, show it in the quietest, most enduring ways. As Epictetus would tell us, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Likewise, true love doesn't need grand gestures. It thrives in the quiet actions that speak volumes. You must learn to frame the memory, not just for the past, but for now, as a declaration that this love is worth staying for. Never forget, your actions will define your bond. Frame the memory, for it is this which shows her more than any words, that she is loved and that the connection you share is worth fighting for. Hey there! Thank you for sticking with me until the end. You've just unlocked a new way of thinking about love, and that's powerful. This isn't about random tips. This is about real transformation. When you show up with presence, touch with purpose, and speak with truth, it's not just about love anymore. It's about leaving an impression that stays with someone long after the moment passes. That's how you become unforgettable. If this resonated with you, don't keep it to yourself. Like the video, hit subscribe for more soul-deep content, and share this with a man who's ready to move differently in love. You're no longer chasing attention, you're commanding connection. And always remember, this kind of energy doesn't fade, it echoes. So, stay glowing, stay grounded. I'll see you soon. She pushes you away when she's afraid to lose you. Old Stoic Wisdom. What if I told you that when she pulls away, it's not a sign of rejection, but rather a form of self-protection? Many men misunderstand this subtle shift. They notice the distance, misinterpret it as a loss of interest, and start overthinking, analysing every word, every text, every subtle change in her energy. However, the truth runs much deeper than this. Her pulling back is not a response to you, but to her own fears. It's not that she's losing feelings for you, but rather that she's grappling with the intensity of her own emotions. As she begins to care more deeply, a vulnerability surfaces that even she may not fully comprehend. In response, she retreats, not to distance herself from you, but to shield her heart from potential pain. True understanding lies in recognizing that vulnerability is not a weakness. It's the first sign of a deep emotional connection. It's the moment where trust is tested. And often, she pulls away because she fears losing control over those feelings. In today's discussion, we will explore why women often retreat just when things begin to get real, and how a man who knows his own value can respond without chasing, without losing his composure, and without stepping away from his own sense of self-worth. The best love is the one that makes you a better person without changing you into someone other than yourself. Unknown. Number 1. The confusing push-pull dance. The confusing push-pull dance in relationships can leave you scratching your head, wondering where you went wrong. 1 minute, everything feels perfect. You're talking every day, and conversations flow effortlessly. Then, suddenly, she pulls away. Replies get slower, warmth fades, and the ease of communication turns into an uncomfortable tension. It's natural to start questioning yourself. Did I say something wrong? Did I misread everything? But here's the hard truth that many men miss: this shift doesn't always mean she's lost interest. Sometimes, it's the exact opposite. She's starting to feel something deeper, and that scares her. Real emotions can bring up old fears. Fear of being hurt again, fear of trusting someone only to be let down, and fear of losing control. In the face of these fears, she pulls away, not because her feelings are fading, but because they're growing. And for many, vulnerability, the rawness of truly caring, is something to avoid at all costs. So, she distances herself, acts cold, distant, or even dismissive. But in reality, this isn't a sign of her slipping away. It's a signal of emotional intensity. Now, here's where most men make a misstep. They feel that shift in energy and immediately try to fix it. They bombard her with more messages, explain, and seek reassurance. They chase the affection that seems to be slipping through their fingers. But here's the thing: when you react with panic, you reinforce her fear. You confirm her belief that love always comes with pressure, and that closeness equals losing control. The more you chase her, the more she pushes away. But the Stoic man, he chooses a different path. He doesn't panic when the dynamic shifts. He remains calm and steady. He doesn't assume responsibility for her internal struggles. He simply observes and accepts. Maybe she needs space to breathe. Maybe she's testing whether you'll still respect yourself even when she withdraws. The important part is how you respond. If you fold and chase her the moment she pulls away, you're teaching her that your emotional stability depends on her behaviour. You're showing her that you cannot handle the emotional turbulence without losing yourself. But if you stay rooted in who you are, centred and calm, you convey a different message. You teach her that your emotional balance isn't contingent on her actions. This is what builds trust, not because you said the right thing, but because you didn't flinch when things got uncomfortable. Remember, sometimes the push-pull isn't a game, it's a reflection of her inner turmoil. If you can remain steady and unshaken, you create the space for her to return to without feeling pressure, without guilt, but with clarity. Your strength isn't about how tightly you hold on to her, but about how calmly you let the relationship breathe. You have to be the rock in the storm, the unshakable force she can lean on. That's what makes you different. That's what earns her respect and trust. This is old Stoic wisdom in action. And when you embody Stoic principles, you show her that you have an iron mind, not swayed by her fears, not chasing emotional highs and lows. You are steady, you are calm, and you earn the respect you deserve. Number 2, fear makes her act opposite. It's counterintuitive, isn't it? The more she feels for you, the colder she becomes, the deeper her emotions run, the further she distances herself. It almost seems like she's pushing you away. But that's exactly what fear does. It makes people act in ways that seem completely opposite of what they really want. This isn't some manipulation. No, it's a natural response. The truth is, she's not trying to lose you. What she's really afraid of is losing herself. Fear often twists people's actions, leading them to do the opposite of what their hearts truly desire. Remember this, fear breeds resistance, not rejection. This is where your strength, grounded in the wisdom of the Stoic rules, comes into play. In these moments, it's not about demanding clarity or forcing answers. Be steady. Time and presence will speak louder than any desperate gesture you could make. When she pulls away, it's not that her feelings have vanished, it's that they've become too real for her to handle. Vulnerability feels like a danger zone, especially if she's been hurt before. The closer she gets, the more exposed she feels. And fear, as we all know, doesn't operate logically. So, instead of leaning in, she instinctively pulls back to protect herself. It's a defense mechanism, not a reflection of her true feelings for you. This is where practical Stoicism comes in. Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, remind us that wisdom lies not in fighting the tide, but in allowing it to pass. Do not retaliate. Don't pull away and return. Don't drown her in your own neediness or impatience. You must remain calm, patient, and grounded. Offer space, but not silence. Show up with presence, but without pressure. The key is to exhibit strength through restraint. A man who's secure within himself doesn't beg for connection. He allows it to return naturally. And that, my friend, is where safety is built. Through consistency and quiet confidence, lead with calm, not control. This is where the paths of wisdom lie. Understanding that sometimes your steadiness and unwavering presence is the only thing she needs to feel safe enough to return. And here's the secret when she pulls away. Don't chase her back. The man who doesn't waver when she steps back is the man she'll return to. He doesn't need to perform love. He just is. His love is steady, grounded, and authentic. Let her see that you don't chase her out of fear, but that you lead with trust. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. This is not a time to perform love or try to manipulate feelings. You must be sincere. Be real. Let her come to realize that the very thing she feared losing wasn't something that was trying to control her, but something that was simply holding steady, waiting for her to choose it back. Now, take a moment. How often have you tried to force clarity when discomfort arose, instead of simply standing your ground with quiet strength? Think about it. If you've ever experienced this, seen a woman pull back just when things were getting real, just when you thought everything was finally lining up, then this message is for you. You are not powerless. You are not alone. Emotional maturity doesn't come from controlling the situation. It comes from composure. It's the calmness in the storm that wins. There's more to this journey. Keep moving forward with strength. And remember the wisdom of the Stoics as you navigate the emotional currents of relationships. If you found this valuable, comment below and share it with someone who could benefit. Don't forget to subscribe for more wisdom. Comment to remember, I lead with calm, not control. Let's continue building strength through emotional maturity together. Number 3, when her heart feels unsafe. When her heart feels unsafe, it's not about you being a threat. It's about the vulnerability she experiences when she lets herself care deeply. The more she values you, the more she fears losing you. That fear triggers old wounds, emotions she hasn't fully processed yet, and it creates confusion in her actions. One moment, she's open, affectionate, deeply connected with you. The next, she pulls away, becomes distant, slower to respond, less emotionally available. This push doesn't mean rejection. It's fear disguised as distance. Men often misunderstand this, believing that it's a reflection of their behavior when, in fact, it's simply her trying to protect herself from an emotional storm that hasn't even hit yet. But here's where your Stoic mindset becomes the key to winning in such moments. You mustn't chase her for answers or demand emotional certainty. Don't seek validation or emotional reassurance. Stay anchored. You remain the calm in the storm, the steady presence amidst the chaos of her emotions. As Epictetus wisely said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. And that's the core of Stoicism. Control what you can, and let go of the rest. When she pulls away, don't take it personally. Do not allow her emotional distance to become your emotional disturbance. Her fear is not your responsibility to fix, and your job is not to chase her. It is to continue your life, stay on your path, and maintain your peace. Marcus Aurelius, in his Reflections, tells us, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. Her retreat only causes pain if you attach your own insecurity to it. Instead of pushing harder, pull back and allow her the space to process. Trust that if the connection is meant to last, it won't need to be forced. When you maintain your inner peace, when you are unmoved by her emotional pushback, you show her the strength she needs in a partner. You offer something far more powerful than emotional chaos. You offer stability, security, and the belief that love doesn't require desperation. You're not controlling her emotions. You're modeling self-assurance, and that's exactly what she needs to feel safe. This is not about abandoning her, but about showing that you are a man who doesn't bend or break when things get hard. A man who does not seek validation from emotional turmoil. And when her fear subsides, it's this consistency that draws her back, not because you forced it, but because you remain true to yourself. That is what a woman ultimately respects. This is the essence of Stoicism. Stoic men win not by chasing love, but by never needing to. And that's the path you must follow to master life and the relationships you hold dear. Keep your peace, stay grounded, and win through strength, not reaction. Number 4, she's testing your reaction. When a woman pulls away, don't panic or try to fix it with words. Instead, understand that she's testing you, and it's not always a conscious move. Deep down, she wants to know who you are when the pressure's on. Will you crack under the weight of uncertainty? Will you chase after her in desperation? Or will you remain calm, focused, and unshaken? This is where old Stoic wisdom comes into play. Stoicism teaches us that it's in moments of tension and fear that we truly show our character. It's not just about how you react to her, it's about how you respond to the fear of losing something real. When a woman starts to feel something deeper for you, her survival instincts can kick in, making her question, what if I care more than he does? What if he leaves me first? The natural response to create distance. It's not to hurt you, but to protect herself, to shield her heart from the potential pain of falling too hard. But here's the mistake most men make. They try to fix this distance with explanations, with endless words, or worse, with pressure. That's where you must understand the Stoic principles. When life gets tough, the Stoic doesn't panic. Instead, he anchors himself deeper. Imagine you've been consistent, present, and invested, building something real and meaningful with her. Then, out of the blue, she becomes distant, colder, more reserved. You didn't change. but her behavior did. That's when your emotions might scream at you to react, to text her endlessly, to ask what went wrong, but that would be the wrong move. When you react from a place of fear or desperation, you're only confirming her worst fears that your calm was conditional, that your strength was only visible when everything was easy. But when you channel that iron mind, when you stay composed, when you lean back instead of chasing after her, you show her something rare, emotional stability. The philosopher Seneca once said, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." This is your moment to prove to yourself that you are unwavering, that you can stand strong in the face of uncertainty without needing constant validation. When she pulls away, it's not necessarily a game. Sometimes it's a way for her to gauge if you're grounded enough to handle the depth she's afraid to give. And in these moments, your silence, your calm, isn't rejection. It's you respecting her emotional journey. The right woman, the one who truly sees you, will understand this. She'll begin to recognize that you're the kind of man who doesn't need to prove himself through pursuit. Instead, you remain still, grounded in who you are, and your strength comes from knowing that you don't need to chase. In these moments, when she feels your presence without a word, that's when she'll realize you're someone she doesn't want to lose. So when she withdraws, don't rush to pull her back. Don't be the man who always reacts. Be the man who observes, who breathes, and who remains unmoved. Let your emotional stability speak louder than words. That's the power of Stoic wisdom in action. If you found this insightful, comment below and share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Don't forget to subscribe for more wisdom. Comment to remember, true strength is not in chasing, but in remaining grounded. Number 5. Her defense mechanism is distance. You've likely felt it, the moment when she starts to pull away, not because she's lost interest, but because she's actually feeling too much. The emotion is so intense, it overwhelms her. The flood of feelings begins to feel like a torrent, and in her panic, she retreats. It's not that she doesn't care, it's because she cares more than she knows how to handle. In that moment, distance becomes her shield. The Stoics, with their ancient wisdom, understood the power of self-preservation. The great philosopher Marcus Aurelius often spoke about keeping one's calm amidst external storms. That is what she is doing, creating space, both physically and emotionally, to regain control. When emotions grow wild, it's natural to pull back. She's testing the waters of safety, recalibrating. And the key here is this: she needs space. She's not withdrawing because of you. She's withdrawing because her heart hasn't yet learned how to be open without fear. But here's where most men go wrong. They feel the coldness, the slower responses, the subtle shift in tone. Panic sets in. She's losing interest, they think. And in that panic, they react, pushing harder, talking more, clinging tighter. They feel the space between them as a threat. They feel it as a sign of failure. But this is exactly where Stoic wisdom comes into play. A man rooted in practical Stoicism would never fall into that trap. He sees the distance not as a rejection, but as an internal struggle she's navigating. He remains calm and steady because he knows that her defense mechanism isn't an attack, it's a shield. Her heart is trying to protect itself, and he respects that. He doesn't take it personally. He doesn't let it undermine his worth. Instead, he stands firm in who he is. Think of the ancient paths of wisdom, the teachings of Epictetus, who reminded us that we are disturbed not by events, but by the view we take of them. It's the view that shapes your response. If you believe her withdrawal means you're not enough, you'll spiral into insecurity. You'll become reactive, needy, desperate. But if you take a Stoic approach, you'll see it for what it is, a signal of her fear, not a reflection of you. So what should you do? First, hold your ground. Don't chase after her. Don't try to fix her fear with logic. Don't explain yourself over and over again. Don't let her emotional tides pull you into chaos. The Stoic rules remind us that our inner peace is our responsibility. That means you must remain rooted in your calm, steady presence, be unshakable. The truth is, when she sees your steadiness, she begins to feel safe again. She'll feel the space you've given her as freedom, not abandonment. In time, she will step out of her shell when she's ready, not because you forced her to, but because she trusts that you didn't lose yourself in her storm. And when she comes out, she'll see that your calm presence never left. That, gentlemen, is the essence of trust. Her retreat isn't about you, it's about her. And if you can remember this, if you can stay grounded in the wisdom of the Stoics, you'll be the man she can depend on, not because you tried to fix her, but because you let her be who she needs to be. Your steadiness will be her anchor, and that's where real trust begins to form. Number 6, she wants to be missed, not forgotten. When she pulls away, don't mistake it for a rejection. It's not that she wants you gone, it's that she's testing whether you will care if she leaves. She's emotionally invested, but fear clouds her judgment. Her fear of losing you creates an internal battle. She doesn't pull away to play games, but to see if her absence means something to you. She wants to know that her presence left a mark, that she's not just another contact on your phone, but someone whose absence would truly be felt. Most men, in their rush to restore the connection, make the mistake of chasing her. They over-explain. They try to patch the emotional gap, thinking that doing more will prove their worth. But in doing this, they transition from a strong, connected man to someone whose actions betray insecurity. The chase is born from caring. Yes, but it lacks control. And in that lack of control, the situation begins to slip away. Imagine this. Things were flowing well, a weekend of deep connection, only to have her go quiet. Suddenly, everything feels off. You try to reach out, but the replies feel distant. This moment is crucial for your growth. Do you lose yourself trying to pull her back in, or do you stand firm, letting her experience the power of your absence? As Epictetus wisely said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This is your test. Your reaction speaks louder than any word or gesture. Let her pull away, if she must. Do not chase, do not explain. Instead, be the man who remains composed, calm, and in control. True presence doesn't need to scream, it lingers. She wants to feel missed, but she wants to be missed by a man who doesn't crumble without her. A man who stands strong, whose value is not determined by his ability to chase or perform. His value is rooted in his self-respect, in his calm demeanor, in his unwavering consistency. This is the man who wins in the end. As Stoicism teaches us, the only thing truly within your control is how you react. So don't rush to explain yourself or beg for attention. Stand your ground. Be the man whose presence leaves a lasting impression, not through action, but through calm restraint. She will remember the man who remained steady, not the one who fell apart at the hint of her absence. Do you want to be remembered for your desperate attempts to explain yourself? Or do you want to be the man whose quiet strength echoes in her mind long after she's gone? Let her feel your absence. It's in that absence that your true presence is felt the most. It's in mastering yourself, in embracing Stoic wisdom, that you find the power to win. And if you find today's content very interesting, please give me a word of encouragement by commenting "very interesting" in the comments section. That is a huge motivation for us. Thank you. Number 7. Her fear of losing you is real. Her fear of losing you is deeper than you might think. Even if she seems distant, aloof, or detached, beneath that cool exterior lies a profound fear. What if I get too close and he leaves? So, she pushes you away first. It's not rejection, it's protection, a defense mechanism built from past heartbreaks and emotional wounds. She's been there before, seen others fall hard and fast, only to watch it all crash. The scars of those experiences are real, and they haunt her. The idea of losing you might hurt so much that she instinctively pulls away. It's a paradox. The more she wants to protect herself from pain, the more she may unintentionally push you out. Ironically, her fear of loss can lead her to behave in ways that leave you confused and questioning your place in her life. One moment she's laughing freely, her walls seemingly down, looking at you with open affection. The next moment, her texts slow to a trickle, her energy fades, and she becomes distant. You might feel that sudden shift, and it hits you. Did I do something wrong? But here's the truth. Don't fall into that trap of doubt. Don't rush in with a desperate need for reassurance. Don't chase her, for in doing so, you will only feed the fear she's already wrestling with. The closeness you're offering can feel like emotional pressure to her, and the very love you give may start to feel like something that could hurt her. The ancient Stoic principles hold a valuable lesson here. If you allow yourself to be disturbed by external events, it's not the events themselves that cause distress, but how you judge them. This is your power to remain steady, unwavering, even as everything around you shifts. Marcus Aurelius understood this well. He knew that stillness in the face of turmoil is the true test of character. So, when she pulls away, don't react with panic or a need to fix things. Instead, meet her distance with calm and silent strength, not as a punishment, but as an embodiment of your emotional iron mind. This is the kind of presence that builds trust, not empty promises of staying, not frantic gestures to ease every doubt, but the quiet assurance that you won't be shaken by temporary storms. You must show her through your actions that you can give her space without anxiety, that you don't need constant reassurance, and that your strength lies in your ability to remain whole, even if respect and openness aren't returned in the moment. If she needs space, let her have it. Don't force a connection, but give her the safety of your stillness. Never ever act out of spite. Instead, be clear and grounded in your actions. So, when she pushes you away, don't interpret it as a final decision. Understand it as a test of your presence, your emotional steadiness, and your stoic resolve. When you don't chase, when you don't panic, when you stand firm, your energy will convey to her something rare that you won't be shaken by her fear. And that if you part ways, it will be on your terms, not hers. In that space, when she feels your steadiness, that's when she will start to feel safe enough to come back. Not because you forced it, but because your presence has shown her that you are someone she doesn't need to fear losing. You will not lose yourself in the process. Number 8, you must stay centered. This is where most men get it wrong. They panic, they lose their calm, they start sending long paragraphs, overthinking every little thing, and becoming desperate for answers. But let me tell you, none of that brings her closer. You want to know, what does discipline? Focus, staying true to your mission. When you're centered, you radiate control and inner strength, which in turn draws her back in. A Stoic man knows that relationships do not define him. His values do. This is where the power lies. Relationships come and go, but your values, your path, your growth, those are what make you solid. When you return to your purpose, to your routine, to the things that keep you evolving, you show her a version of yourself that will be impossible for her to ignore, and that is what she won't want to lose. This, my friend, is practical Stoicism in action. It's the path of wisdom that has worked for centuries. Now, let's be real. When she pulls away, it hurts. You've been giving your all. You've invested your time, energy, and emotions. And yet, she steps back. It stings, and you start questioning everything. What did you do wrong? Did you say the wrong thing? Did you not show enough affection? These questions swirl in your mind, consuming you. But here's the key that many men miss sometimes. She's not pulling away because she's done with you. No, it's much more profound than that. She's pulling away because she's terrified of how deeply she feels for you. When someone cares deeply, the closer they get, the more vulnerable they become. That vulnerability is a fearsome thing to face. The closer you get to her heart, the louder her fear of losing you becomes. She feels like she's putting everything on the line, and the fear of abandonment or hurt is so great that, instead of letting herself fall deeper, she pushes you away. This isn't about you. It's about her emotional defense mechanism kicking in. It's the instinctive part of her that needs to test whether you are the kind of man who can stay steady, who can remain grounded while she sorts through her own emotional chaos. You must be the mountain, not the crashing wave. If you panic, if you spiral into emotional turmoil and try to fix everything right away, you're only confirming her fear. You'll show her that you're not the man she thought you were, the calm, steady presence she needs. But if you stand firm, if you keep building yourself, stay disciplined, focused, and grounded, you will show her the man she first fell for, the man who doesn't just have feelings for her, but has control over his own emotions. This is where Stoic rules really come into play. You've got to stay true to the path of wisdom, the path that teaches you to stay unshaken by external forces. Relationships may change, people may come and go, but your mission, your values, and your self-mastery, that's your anchor. That is what makes you unshakable, and it's what will remind her of the man she wants by her side. So, when the emotional weather turns stormy, don't try to chase after the fleeting sunshine. Instead, be the mountain. Let her return to clarity in her own time. In the meantime, continue walking your path, and when she's ready, she'll find her way back. Remember, you are the rock, not the waves. And that is the ultimate lesson in practical stoicism. Stay centered, stay calm, and keep moving forward. You've got this. If you're still here, you're learning what most men never will. They crumble when things get tough, but you have the chance to rise above. The true test is how you handle the distance and stay true to your mission. Remember, it's not about chasing the storm, it's about being the mountain. If you're committed to staying centered and focused on your path, comment, "I am the mountain, not the storm." Number 9, don't over-explain, just be solid. When she starts to push you away, don't make the mistake of over-explaining yourself. Forget about sending her long texts, trying to justify your actions, or constantly reassuring her of your feelings. These anxious responses only reflect a lack of confidence and a fear of loss. Instead, be solid. Don't bend under pressure. Understand this: when a woman starts to distance herself, it's often not because she's losing interest in you. More likely, it's because she's afraid of how deeply she's starting to feel. Her instinct is to protect herself, to create distance before you can hurt her. This is not a moment for vulnerability or desperate attempts to win her back with words. This is a moment for strength, your strength. Stay calm, be the anchor. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." When she pushes away, your reaction speaks volumes. If you panic, if you chase, you signal to her that you are unstable, desperate, and unable to handle the storm of emotions. But if you take a step back, breathe, and remain solid in your presence, you offer her something rare: stability, strength, and emotional resilience. You become a rock in the storm. This is where Stoicism wins. You don't need to control the situation or the outcome. You don't need to chase her or try to fix everything with your words. Your job is to remain centered, stay true to yourself. Let her feel that you are unshaken, that no matter how much she pulls away, you will not crumble under the pressure. The truth is, this is more attractive than any emotional plea or explanation. In the chaos of her emotions, your ability to stay steady is a signal of strength. It's rare, it's powerful, and it's what makes her feel safe, not because of what you said, but because of who you are and how you handle the situation. In moments like this, remember, do not chase, do not try to explain yourself into a corner. Be solid, be still, and let your emotional strength show. She will notice. Even if she doesn't return, you will stand firm in your own power, knowing you didn't react out of fear. You didn't over-explain or collapse. You let Stoicism win. And that is how you master life. Let your steadiness become your greatest strength, and you will emerge victorious. Number 10, be the mountain, not the wave. When a woman starts to feel something real, something deep, it can trigger an intense emotional reaction, often fear. Fear of losing control, of being hurt, or of getting too close. The result? She pulls back, creates distance, and retreats, even when her feelings are still there. The key to handling this is not to chase, not to give in to desperation. Instead, you must be the mountain, not the wave. Let her take her space. Stand still and strong, like the Stoic principles teach. Be unwavering. A woman doesn't need your desperate texts or pleading for reassurance. She needs your steady, grounded presence. The Old Stoic wisdom tells us that we cannot control the emotions of others, but we can control our own. When faced with a storm of emotions, her emotional wave, you don't flinch, you don't become erratic, you stand firm. The mountain doesn't chase the wave, it lets the wave crash against it, knowing it will pass. And just like that mountain, you must be reliable, constant, and secure in who you are. Don't allow fear to dictate your actions. Don't bend to pressure. This is where most men fail. They react to the distance with panic, sending long texts or explanations, which only pushes her further away. In that moment, she feels pressure instead of safety. That pressure is not what builds a connection. It creates resistance. The Stoic mind understands this perfectly. When Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events," he was emphasizing that we cannot control others, but we can control how we respond. You must remain centered in your own strength, unaffected by external emotional storms. You're not passive in this. No, you're engaged in the most active, masculine way possible by standing grounded, unaffected by the emotional chaos swirling around you, by being the mountain. You give her the space to return on her own terms. You don't pressure her. You don't collapse under the weight of uncertainty. You don't make her feel guilty or ashamed for her retreat. Instead, you simply remain. And if she comes back, she'll remember your strength, your calm. She'll see that you're not a man who crumbles under emotional strain. You didn't need to prove your worth. Your presence was your worth. And that's the essence of masculine strength. An iron mind, grounded, unwavering, and unapologetically yourself. No one forgets a man like that. Alright, that wraps up today's video. If you found any value in it, don't forget to hit that like button, share it with someone who might benefit, and subscribe for more insightful content like this. Also, I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you have any feedback, or if there's anything about this video that sparked a question or a conversation, feel free to leave a comment below. Let's discuss and grow together. Remember, life's challenges don't have to break you. They can make you stronger. So, stay strong, stay wise, and until next time, take care. 8 hidden signals she's secretly attracted to you. Dark psychology. Old Stoic wisdom. Let me share something with you that might catch you off guard. While you're sitting there questioning, does she like me? She's probably already shown you at least 8 signs that she's interested, 8 signals right in front of you. And yet you miss them. Not because you're unaware, but because you've been looking for the wrong clues. You've been waiting for grand gestures, dramatic confessions, or bold moves. But here's the truth. Women don't always express interest in such obvious ways. Often, the most powerful signs of attraction are the quietest. They're hidden in her body language, in the way she subtly chooses her words, and in the emotional energy she sends your way. Today, I'm going to reveal exactly how to recognize these hidden signals so you never miss your chance again. Let's begin with the first one. It's so faint, it could almost slip by unnoticed, but once you spot it, you'll realize just how telling it truly is. Love is not about grand gestures. It's in the quiet moments that speak the loudest. Unknown. 1. She mirrors you without realizing it. When a woman subconsciously mirrors your actions, it's not just a coincidence. It's a profound signal that her mind is aligning with yours, responding to your presence in a way she may not even be aware of. This behavior, often referred to as behavioral synchrony, reveals one of the most powerful hidden signs that she's attracted to you. Her body is in sync with yours, a natural, unspoken communication that goes beyond words. It's the kind of deep, psychological connection that you must recognize and appreciate. When you cross your arms and moments later, she does the same. Or when you lean back in your chair and notice her mirroring that exact posture. It's not her trying to copy you. She's instinctively matching your rhythm. This is a powerful subconscious response, triggered by attraction. And when she changes the pace of her speech to match yours, don't fool yourself into thinking it's a coincidence. Her nervous system is actively syncing with yours, creating a silent bond. Old Stoic wisdom teaches us that our actions, our very presence, speak louder than words. The Stoic principle of control and harmony with one's surroundings reflects this perfectly. You must understand that this mirroring isn't about comfort, it's a sign of deeper connection. Her body is attuning to yours, adjusting to your energy, your tempo. It's an ancient response, one that's wired deep within our subconscious. Studies confirm this natural mirroring when attraction is involved. It's not just about the body copying the other, it's a reflection of trust, rapport, and alignment. So, next time you're talking to her, try this little experiment. Lean back a bit, cross your arms gently, and just observe. Watch for her body language to shift as she matches your position. When it happens, don't ignore it. You're witnessing something more than just body language. She's emotionally and physically responding to you, tuning into your frequency without even realizing it. And whether she acknowledges it or not, this is a strong signal of attraction, a silent yes in the form of mirrored behavior. Remember, in dark psychology, understanding these subtle cues can give you a serious advantage, but don't mistake this for manipulation. This isn't about using tricks or playing games. It's about recognizing the natural human instinct to connect, to seek rapport. The Stoic way is to observe, understand, and act in alignment with your true self, not to force or contrive connections. The Iron Mind philosophy reminds us to maintain control over our emotions, to stay composed, and to understand that attraction isn't always obvious. Often, it's the quiet, subconscious things that reveal the most. If her actions align with yours, it's not just coincidence. It's an unconscious signal that she's attracted to you, responding to your energy in ways that go beyond words. Trust in the principles of Stoic wisdom. Recognize these signals for what they are, and move forward with clarity and confidence. This is no random coincidence. It's the beginning of a deeper connection. 2. Her pupils dilate when she looks at you. When a woman looks at you, do her eyes seem to widen ever so slightly? Do they glisten, almost glowing in the moment? If yes, this is no accident. It's not the lighting, and it certainly isn't a figment of your imagination. Her pupils are reacting to you in a way that goes far beyond simple attention. This is biology in action, and it is one of the most honest signals she could ever send. Don't misunderstand. It's not just about lust. It's about a deep, primal attraction that stirs excitement, curiosity, and even a spark of desire. The moment her pupils dilate, her body is revealing her inner feelings in a way she can't control, no matter how hard she tries. This is pure, unadulterated biology, and it speaks volumes about her emotions, the uncontrollable biology behind her gaze. Now, let's get into the science. You see, this isn't some deliberate tactic she's consciously playing out. Her body, driven by the ancient and unyielding principles of human biology, is responding to you. When she's emotionally drawn to someone, her sympathetic nervous system kicks into overdrive. This surge releases norepinephrine, the very same chemical responsible for adrenaline, desire, and heightened focus. As a result, her pupils dilate, an involuntary action she simply cannot fake, even if she wanted to. This is the beauty of the human body. When someone is genuinely interested or attracted to you, her nervous system reacts in ways that can't be hidden. It's an automatic response to her feelings. And that moment when her gaze seems to lock with yours, just a little longer than usual, and her pupils appear wider, that's no accident. That's desire, curiosity, and intense attention, all written in the subtle shift of her pupils. Practical Stoicism and interpreting her signals. Here's the key: don't overlook this subtle yet powerful signal. We, as men, often dismiss or misread signals that are right in front of us. Stoic wisdom teaches us to focus on what we can control and understand the actions of others with a clear, logical mind. Don't get lost in fantasy or unnecessary doubts. If her pupils are dilating when she's with you, that's not coincidence. That's genuine interest, unfiltered by any external pressures or influences. It's important to understand that her physical response to you is primal. This ties back to the core principles of practical Stoicism, just like the Stoic rules that urge us to stay grounded in reality and focus on clear facts. The reaction of her pupils is a tangible, unambiguous fact. It's not something she can hide. This natural reaction is the body's response to genuine emotional engagement, not a show she's putting on. The path of wisdom, don't miss the moment. Now, let's talk about how to respond. Don't second-guess yourself when you see her pupils dilating. Recognize that this is a deep, emotional signal of attraction. You must embrace the moment. Look her in the eyes and take in the subtle power of her gaze. The next time you're with her in an intimate setting, a quiet bar, a candlelit restaurant, or even during a casual conversation, notice the way her eyes seem to soften and widen. If her pupils seem to reflect the light differently when she looks at you, that's not your imagination. That's your power, your presence, having an undeniable effect on her. But don't get too caught up in it. Stoic wisdom teaches us to focus on the present without getting lost in distractions. This is the moment to stay grounded. Your reaction is crucial. Be present, be aware, and don't get caught up in fantasies. Trust the subtle signs, but always move forward with clarity and understanding, just as the paths of wisdom would guide you. Conclusion: the irresistible power of her gaze. In the end, the dilation of her pupils is a powerful sign of her attraction to you, one that she cannot consciously control. It's the perfect example of how biology can work in your favor. This is an involuntary response that is rooted in deep, primal human connection. And while Stoicism teaches us to maintain control over our actions, it doesn't mean we should ignore the signals others are sending us. Don't be passive. Be observant. Be present. And recognize that what's happening in those few seconds, her pupils dilating, her gaze intensifying, speaks volumes about her feelings. So the next time you're talking to her, take a moment to observe the tiny details. If her pupils are wide and sparkling in the dim light, that's not just attention, that's attraction in its rawest, most genuine form. And that, my friend, is a signal you should never ignore. If you found this valuable, comment below and share it with someone who could benefit. Don't forget to subscribe for more wisdom. Comment to remember, I am a magnet for attraction. 3. She finds reasons to be around you. When a woman consistently finds reasons to be around you, it's not just coincidence, it's strategy, a finely tuned, deliberate effort to get your attention without outright asking for it. You must understand this. Women don't linger around men they have no interest in. If she's regularly in the same places as you, whether it's a concert, a gym class, or a cafe you frequent, don't brush it off as mere coincidence. That's proximity-seeking behavior, a clear and powerful subconscious signal of romantic interest. She may not be chasing you directly, but she's positioning herself in your world in a way that makes it almost impossible for you to ignore her. Think about it. You mention you're going to an event, and suddenly she's got tickets. You sign up for a new class, and there she is, just coincidentally signing up for the same one. You visit a particular cafe on Thursdays, and somehow, every time you walk in, she's there too, as if the universe is aligning to bring her into your orbit. If you don't recognize this behavior for what it is, you risk missing an important opportunity, one that could slip through your fingers without you even knowing it. Rejection hurts, and it's no different for her. She's not asking you out outright because she doesn't want to risk that sting. Instead, she's employing a low-risk, passive form of pursuit. She's telling you, look, I'm here. I want you to notice me. I'm making myself available to you, and I'm hoping you'll take the hint. This is where you must be vigilant. If you don't notice her presence in your life, if you don't engage with her, you could inadvertently send the message that you're not interested. Even if you are, you may even find yourself unintentionally slipping into the dreaded friend zone without her ever needing to say a word. It's as if she's offering you chances to connect, laid out in front of you on a silver platter. But if you're not paying attention, if you're too caught up in your own world, you might miss it. This is where the wisdom of Epictetus comes in. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. How you respond to the signals she's giving you is critical. If you stand back and wait for things to happen on their own, you may be missing the opportunity to take charge of the situation. Recognize these moments, take action, and engage with her before someone else notices what you might have overlooked. This is where you begin to see the true power of Stoicism and dark psychology at work. It's about awareness, about understanding the subtle cues people give off, and about using that knowledge to your advantage. Life doesn't wait for you to be passive. The world is constantly moving, constantly evolving, and if you want to win, you need to act decisively. Just as the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. When you master the art of seeing the signs, you reduce your wants, your need for reassurance or validation, and act with a clear purpose. You understand that these small moments of proximity are not accidents. They are opportunities. She is creating space for connection. She is subtly telling you that she is interested. You must have the confidence to step forward and seize that moment. Don't let fear or hesitation hold you back. Your life, your decisions, your success with women depend on mastering these moments. You are in control. Seize the opportunities she presents, engage with purpose, and win. This is the path of the Stoic man, the man who masters life by understanding the signals, taking action, and never waiting for permission. Now is the time. Don't let it slip away. 4. She gets physically closer than necessary. Pay attention, because this is crucial. When she gets physically closer than necessary, it's not just a random act. It's a signal. Her body's already made a decision, even if her words haven't caught up yet. Personal space is something sacred to women, ingrained in us since childhood. We're taught to protect our physical boundaries, to guard our space like a fortress. So, when she keeps closing the distance, inching her way closer to you, it's no accident, it's instinct. That lean in during a conversation when there's no reason for her to be so near, the brush of her arm against yours when the space is wide open, or her choosing to sit right next to you when 5 other spots are available. These are deliberate acts. They are her body's way of saying, I feel safe with you. I want more of your energy. I want to connect. And that's not something to take lightly. Because here's the thing that most men overlook. Women don't take risks with their personal space unless they feel emotionally comfortable and grounded. We are instinctively wired to protect ourselves from harm, to seek safety in the people we choose to be near. So, when she keeps drifting closer, inching toward you like gravity itself is pulling her in, what you're seeing is her body quietly confessing what her lips might not yet say. This isn't just about proximity, it's about trust. It's about her emotional comfort with you, and her attraction, magnetically drawing her in. Her body doesn't lie. She's showing you the signals, if you're paying attention. Now, if you want to understand this on a deeper level, remember this. The Old Stoic Wisdom reminds us that the mind must be iron, unshakable, grounded in reality, regardless of external chaos. So, when you notice this behavior, stay calm, don't chase it, don't overthink it, let her come to you. The Stoic principles teach us that emotional control is the foundation of strength, so instead of reacting to every little movement, be still, let the attraction grow naturally. But understand this, the closer she gets, the more your own presence, grounded in emotional control and an iron mind, will be what attracts her. Women are drawn to men who exude confidence, calmness, and stability. It's not the forceful or the overly eager who succeed, but those who stand firm and composed in the face of subtlety. Be that man. Keep your emotional state unshaken, your boundaries clear, but remain open to the dance of attraction. As the Stoics would advise, do not be disturbed by things you cannot control, and certainly don't be disturbed by the closeness she might bring. That's a sign, a powerful one, but it's up to you to interpret it with the wisdom of the ancients. Don't rush, be patient, let your actions speak as clearly as her body language does. That's how you win her attention, and more. If you recognize these signals in your interactions, don't miss out on the chance to explore them further. Like, comment below, and share this with someone who needs to understand the subtle art of attraction. Don't forget to subscribe for more insights. Comment to remember. Closeness is a silent confession of trust and attraction. 5. She laughs at your jokes, even the bad ones. Let's face it, you're probably not the next comedy legend. You've cracked a joke or two that has fallen flatter than a pancake in the middle of a Sunday brunch. But somehow, she laughs. Even at the terrible puns, the awkward one-liners, and those dad jokes you've perfected over the years. So, what's going on here? The truth is simple. When a woman is attracted to you, she doesn't care about your stand-up skills. She's not analysing your material like a ruthless comedy critic. No. Instead, something deeper is at play. It's the energy you bring into the room. Your voice, your unique vibe. She laughs, not because you're about to land a Netflix special, but because your presence makes her feel light, at ease, and engaged. This is more than just laughter. It's a subtle form of flirty reinforcement, a gentle nudge that says, "Hey, I'm enjoying this. Keep going." The rules of attraction work in strange, unexpected ways. Women understand the power of chemistry without having to spell it out, and that's exactly what's happening when she's chuckling at your bad jokes. In this moment, you're not a clown. You're someone who makes her feel good. Now, don't get it twisted. She's not laughing out of politeness. This isn't a forced giggle or a, "yeah, I'll just laugh to avoid awkward silence" kind of reaction. This is the kind of laughter that rolls out naturally, a spontaneous burst of joy that radiates from her whenever you speak. It's the same kind of laugh that happens when a child is playfully teased or when someone feels utterly comfortable in their surroundings. In this case, you're the source of that comfort, and it goes beyond humour. Maybe you didn't even tell a joke, but she still chuckles at your sarcastic comment or the quirky thing you just said. Perhaps it was a tease, something small, maybe even a bit cheeky, and she laughs. Why? Because your personality strikes a chord. There's a shared emotional closeness. It's a way of her letting you know she feels safe in your presence and, crucially, that she's invested. This playful back and forth is a sign that you're walking the right path, the path of emotional connection, where words become tools of flirtation rather than just conversation. She's dropping little signals, ones you must pick up on. Women, in their own way, are never direct when it comes to attraction. They want you to figure it out yourself. It's all about emotional intelligence, reading the unspoken cues. That's where the rules of Stoicism come into play. Understand that this isn't just a fleeting moment. This is a practice, a Stoic rule in its own right. The more you stay grounded, the more your own natural presence will shine. So, what do you do with this information? Simple, don't second-guess yourself. Don't feel the need to impress her with a perfect joke or an overly rehearsed punchline. Be yourself. Be confident in your personality. You must trust in the connection that's unfolding in front of you. The genuine moments where her laughter reveals her deeper feelings. Women might not always tell you directly, but they have a unique way of showing you that they care. That is the power of emotional wisdom, the practical stoicism that helps you understand the deeper meaning behind everyday interactions. You don't need grand gestures to win her over. Often, it's the simplest things, like her laughter at your worst joke, that reveal the most. In your quest to understand women and attraction, remember the paths of wisdom are paved with subtlety. Stoic wisdom teaches us that true power lies in being calm, present, and aware. Watch for those little signs, like her laughter, because they may just be telling you more than words ever could. 6. She mentions you to friends or brings them around. When a woman mentions you to her friends or brings them around you, understand that you've crossed into a different territory. She's no longer just casually interested. You've become part of her world, part of her internal narrative. This is a crucial moment. when a woman subtly integrates you into her social life, whether by talking about you to her close friends or casually referencing you in group settings. Know this: you are more than just a fleeting figure. You're part of her emotional journey. This is what we call the soft launch, the quiet unveiling of someone she's emotionally invested in. It's not an outright proclamation of exclusivity, but it's a significant sign. She's testing the waters. She wants to see how others respond to you, how you fit into her life, and most importantly, whether her feelings for you hold weight in the eyes of her trusted circle. It's a moment of validation, a way of seeing if her affection is visible, real, and worthy of recognition in the eyes of her friends. Take a lesson from the Stoics, particularly from Epictetus. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. This wisdom applies directly to the dynamics of attraction. By understanding the signals a woman sends you, you free yourself from unnecessary anxieties about her intentions. You can look at her actions with clarity, just as the Stoic observer looks at life's events with an unclouded mind. In a world filled with noise and distractions, you must recognize that the pursuit of validation through others is often a form of weakness. She doesn't need to shout her feelings to the world for them to be real. Her actions are enough. Now, let's understand what this moment signifies in real terms. When she begins to incorporate you into her circle, there's no turning back. You've passed a threshold. This is when you need to step up. It's not the time to falter or second-guess yourself. Confidence, decisiveness, and strength are what you must project. Acknowledge the moment, own it, and embrace the role you now play in her life. The integration of your identity into her social fabric means she's considering you in a bigger picture. She's analyzing how you fit, how you influence the social dynamics, and whether you can stand firm in front of her most trusted people. Remember, Stoicism teaches us to act with purpose. Like Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This applies here. Your reaction to being introduced into her circle says everything. It's about being unwavering, being comfortable in your own skin, and not seeking validation from others. If she brings you around her friends, she's not looking for your approval. She's looking to see if you can handle the pressure, if you can remain solid, if you can win through composure and strength. Modern life can often lead us to believe that relationships need grand gestures or public declarations to hold meaning. This is not the case. Epictetus, through his teachings of Stoicism, shows us that the true power lies in the simplicity of understanding what truly matters: your inner peace, your self-worth, and your ability to control your emotions. When you show up for her in these moments, strong, grounded, and clear, you demonstrate the Stoic mastery that wins the day. In this context, winning isn't about making loud claims or performing for her friends. It's about standing firm in your own value. Be the person who doesn't need external approval, who holds his ground when tested. In the eyes of a woman who's bringing you into her social circle, your ability to navigate this with poise will speak louder than anything else. This is your chance to embody the quiet confidence of Stoicism. Stand tall, respond with clarity, and show that you can thrive in this new dynamic. You must never forget, to be calm is the highest achievement of the self. This is the kind of mastery you should embody, for it's not about what she says or what others think. It's about how you stand in the face of it. This is how you win. This is how Stoicism wins. If you've made it this far, you've uncovered a crucial sign that she's truly interested. When a woman starts involving you in her social world, you've gone beyond being just another face. You're part of her story now. Please comment below. I am ready to take my place in her world. 7. She touches her neck, hair, or lips while talking to you. When a woman touches her neck, plays with her hair, or gently brushes her lips while talking to you, don't mistake it for simple nervous fidgeting. This is not random behavior. It's a silent signal, a deep biological response from her body. It's all part of the limbic system at work, the brain's emotional core, the center where attraction is processed. Her body reacts before her mind even has a chance to catch up, driven by an unconscious urge. These gestures are primal, natural, and tied to attraction. Think about it every time you talk, and she instinctively touches her neck, twirls her hair, or brushes her lips. Her body is silently declaring what her words haven't yet dared to say. It's the physical manifestation of desire. It's her subconscious saying, I want you to notice me. I'm affected by you. This connection is powerful, and I feel it. This isn't just about attraction. It's a deeper, emotional reaction that often speaks louder than any words she could say. You must recognize these subtle signs, because they're not accidental. Her actions reveal her emotions in ways she can't always express verbally. And it's your job to pay attention to what her body is saying. The neck, for example, is one of the most vulnerable parts of the body. And when she touches it or exposes it to you, later a flirtation, a play on instinctive signals designed to capture your attention, and the lips, well, those speak for themselves. They are the most seductive part of the body, and when she touches or licks them, it's a sign of desire, signaling an attraction that runs deeper than casual interest. This isn't the stuff of romance novels. It's rooted in human biology, the age-old dance of attraction that's been with us since the dawn of time. You must approach these signals with the mindset of an iron mind, stoic, aware, and deliberate. Recognize that the body is often more honest than the mouth. It will give you clues long before her conscious thoughts align. Be aware of these cues and let them guide your response. As much as she might be trying to play it cool, her body is revealing what's really happening beneath the surface. That is the beauty of understanding old Stoic wisdom. True understanding of human nature, how emotions and desires move us, isn't found in grand speeches or elaborate promises. It's found in the subtle, overlooked moments. Don't ignore these signals. Be attentive. Observe her reactions. This is where Stoic principles can really come into play. Stoicism isn't about shutting off emotion. It's about understanding and mastering it. It's about knowing that there's always more beneath the surface. When you learn to recognize these small gestures, you start to see the world through a sharper lens, with an awareness that others might miss. You'll begin to notice when someone is secretly attracted to you long before they admit it, because their body has already told you the truth. Her subtle touches, the flick of her hair, the gentle brush of her lips, they all speak a language that's older and wiser than words could ever convey. So, if you want to truly understand how to read attraction, remember this. Your mind must be as sharp as iron, steady and aware of these cues. The old Stoic wisdom tells us that we are all governed by our emotions, but we can train ourselves to understand them and master them. When you master this awareness, you can navigate these moments with confidence. The woman who is subconsciously signaling her attraction is showing you more than she realizes. All you have to do is be alert enough to notice. 8. She teases you or tests your confidence. Listen closely. When a woman is secretly attracted to you, don't expect her to shower you with the usual soft, flowery compliments. No, that's for amateurs. Sometimes she will flirt with fire, testing your confidence like a blacksmith testing molten steel. It's not about making you uncomfortable or rejecting you or playing games just to mess with your mind. No, it's about something deeper, something primal, something she might not even realize herself. Her teasing and playful sarcasm are not signals of indifference. They're signals of interest. Be alert. This is her way of evaluating your core. She's poking at your armor, not to dent it, but to see how solid it is. Does it hold up under pressure? Can you take her playful jabs and turn them into a dance of witty banter? If you falter, if you lose your cool, it's game over. But if you stand strong, if you respond with calm confidence and sharp wit, then something incredible happens. That's when the real magic starts. It's like a switch flips in her mind, and suddenly she sees you in a new light. She notices your strength, your poise, and your ability to handle what's thrown at you. It's a test, yes, but it's also a signal. It's her way of saying, "Can you handle me?" And when you pass her test, you open the floodgates to her attraction. Don't misunderstand her playful challenges. It's easy to misread them as disinterest, but that's exactly the trap many men fall into. They back away, get defensive, or get flustered. Instead, be stoic. The Stoic rules teach us that we control our responses. We don't react to every poke or prod with anxiety or frustration. We stay calm, composed, and in control of our emotions. This is what practical stoicism looks like in real life. You show strength by keeping your inner peace intact while the world around you shifts. This is a path of wisdom that many men overlook. When she teases you, it's not about winning her over with grand gestures or over-the-top displays of masculinity. It's about showing her that you have a strong sense of self, that you are grounded in who you are. Don't let the little things shake you. Instead, laugh along with her, match her energy with your own, but make sure it's a confident, unshakable energy. If you can do this, she'll start to escalate the flirting without even realizing it. This might feel like a game, but it's more profound than that. It's a moment of unspoken connection, a challenge that pulls her deeper into the web of attraction. That is the path of wisdom, not trying to impress her with superficial charm, but showing her that you can handle whatever comes your way, just like the great Stoics of old, who maintained their dignity and composure regardless of the circumstances. By responding to her playful tests with humour, confidence, and poise, you create an aura of calm certainty around yourself. And when she notices that calm energy, she sees more than just a man. She sees someone who understands the deeper laws of human interaction. That is powerful. Remember, it's not about playing games. It's about being a man who is emotionally grounded, someone who understands that life's challenges, whether they come in the form of her teasing or a difficult situation, are opportunities to display your strength. You must understand this. Teasing is a challenge, but it's also an opportunity. Don't shrink from it. Embrace it. Pass it with confidence and watch as she escalates the attraction. All right, how many of these signs have you seen in your own life? How many times has she mirrored your actions, sat just a little too close, or laughed a little more than usual? And you thought, nah, that's just a coincidence. Trust me, it wasn't. She was telling you everything you needed to know without saying a word. So, here's the advice I want you to walk away with. Stop overthinking. Start paying attention to the signs. She's already showing you she's into you. Now it's up to you to recognize it and respond accordingly. Thanks for tuning in. If this video made you think or gave you a fresh perspective, then stick around. There's a lot more we'll explore together. Hit that subscribe button, give the video a thumbs up, and dive deeper into the fascinating world of human attraction and connection right here on the channel. Remember, the most powerful signals are often the ones left unspoken. Catch you in the next video. Never do this with a young woman if you are an older man. Old Stoic Wisdom. Never lose yourself for a young woman. As a man who's lived through decades of experience, perhaps in your 40s, 50s, or even 60s, you've seen it all. You've carved your own path, weathered storms, and grown wiser with each challenge. You've experienced love, loss, success, and failure. But then, a young woman comes into your life, full of energy, mystery, and a captivating charm. She catches your attention, maybe for the first time in a while. You feel that spark again. It's exhilarating, flattering even, and it's easy to get swept up in the excitement. But this is where many men, even those who've lived full lives, begin to slip. The allure of youth can cloud your judgment. Suddenly, you might find yourself adjusting who you are to fit into her world, instead of standing firm in the strength of your own identity. You start to soften your edges, shrink your presence, and try to prove yourself in ways that are unnecessary. In this quest for validation, you forget what you've learned through your years of life and experience. You forget that you're already complete, just as you are. When that happens, the dynamic changes. She no longer sees you as a solid, grounded man. She begins to see you as someone trying too hard, someone eager to impress. The attraction starts to fade, and the connection becomes strained. This isn't about casting judgment or condemning connections between old men and younger women. It's about protecting your dignity, your integrity, and your masculine energy. It's about making sure that, no matter the situation, you remain grounded in who you are. We're going to explore how you, as a stoic, wise man, should approach this situation, how you can remain true to yourself without losing the very qualities that make you the strong, mature individual you are. This isn't just dating advice. This is a life lesson. So if you're tired of feeling lost in the face of temptation or admiration, stick around. By the end of this, you'll understand how to maintain your power not by doing more, but by doing less. 1. Don't try to be her age. Don't try to be her age. You're not her peer, and that's exactly what makes you valuable. One of the most common blunders older men make when dealing with younger women is shrinking themselves to fit into her world, talking like her, dressing like her, and pretending they understand every pop culture reference that flies from her lips. It starts innocently enough, from a desire to connect, to relate, but in reality, it has the opposite effect. The moment you try to mimic her, you lose the very thing that made you interesting in the first place. She no longer sees you as the grounded, composed, experienced man you are. She sees someone trying too hard. Women, especially younger ones, have an innate sixth sense for authenticity. They can feel insecurity beneath the surface, no matter how subtly it's hidden. When you, an older man, try to act cool by mimicking her, it doesn't feel right, not because of the age gap, but because of the unease beneath it. Your age isn't a liability. It's your edge. You've lived, you've failed, you've risen again. You carry something she doesn't yet understand. The weight of experience, the calm of an iron mind, the serenity that only time spent battling life can bring. That is what draws her in, not your ability to parrot the latest TikTok dance or quote her favourite Netflix series. You must realise this, your presence, your groundedness, your unshakable composure. That's the essence that captivates her, not your attempt to fit into her world, but too many older men feel pressured to keep up with her, to match her youthful energy. The truth, the most attractive thing you can do is slow down. Be still, be solid. Let her youthful energy swirl around you while you remain firm in your centre, your experience anchoring you like a pillar. This is where your old Stoic wisdom comes into play. You've been through the battles. You know when to advance and when to hold your ground. It's not about pretending to be something you're not. It's about being unshakably yourself in the face of any youthful whirlwind. Picture this, you're on a date, and she giddily mentions some 23-year-old influencer she's obsessed with. The temptation is there to pretend you know who that is, to laugh along, maybe even pull out your phone and fake scroll like you follow the influencer too. But don't. Instead, you smile, lean back, and say, I don't follow that stuff much. I prefer conversations that don't disappear after 24 hours. That right there, that's strength. That's the power of Stoic principles in action. That's difference, that's mystery. That's what catches her off guard. Not because you're pretending to be young, but because you're reminding her that you're not. And that is the paradox the moment you stop trying to relate. You become magnetic. Your life experience, your iron mind, and your old Stoic wisdom create a depth that she can't replicate. And that is what makes you truly attractive. Your ability to stand firm in who you are, regardless of the ever-changing tides around you. 2. Don't become her emotional sponge. Let's face it, older men, especially those who have lived and learned through the years, can fall into the trap of being a younger woman's emotional sponge. You know, the guy who absorbs all her chaos, confusion, and unresolved childhood wounds under the pretense of helping her. It often starts off innocently. She confides in you, telling stories about her past. Maybe her ex was a jerk. Maybe her parents weren't there for her. Perhaps she's working through some emotional scars. It feels like a moment of connection, and naturally, your instinct is to listen. You're older, wiser, and emotionally mature, so you want to be supportive. You might even feel that you're different from the boys her age, offering the stability and calm she desperately seeks. But, step by step, the innocent listening becomes something else. You end up being her therapist, her emotional dumping ground, late-night calls, constant texts about her mental health spirals, or rants about the mess of her dating life. Deep down, you convince yourself that this is building some kind of bond. You think, if I'm the one who truly understands her, she'll choose me. But that, my friend, is where the mistake lies. What you're doing isn't romantic bonding, it's emotional outsourcing. Women, especially younger ones, often turn to older men for the stability they crave. But if you mistake emotional caretaking for attraction, you're not building intimacy. You're setting yourself up for a one-way street to the dreaded friend zone. You might listen to her vent about her latest dating disaster or hear endless stories of her self-improvement journey. You might offer advice, maybe even comfort, but none of this will lead to respect or desire. Here's the reason why a Stoic man doesn't entangle himself in drama to feel needed. It's as simple as that. A man of Stoic wisdom understands that true emotional maturity is about providing calm, not absorbing the storm. You must recognize that there's a huge difference between being emotionally available and being emotionally absorbent. The former is grounded, calm, and intentional. The latter is needy, draining, and, quite frankly, exhausting. Imagine this scenario. She calls you up at 2 a.m., crying over her latest relationship disaster. Now, a younger, less disciplined man might immediately rush in, trying to fix things, offering unsolicited advice, or even blaming her partner for everything. But not you, my friend. A Stoic man listens, and then calmly replies, "That sounds like a lot. I hope you give yourself some space to figure it out." That's it. Simple, to the point. And, most importantly, boundaries in place. You've shown empathy, but you've also made it clear that you're not going to get dragged into her emotional storm. She feels seen, but not needed in a way that compromises your peace of mind. That, my friend, is practical stoicism in action. Be a calm presence, not a drama magnet. Let's emphasize something here. Stoicism isn't about being cold or emotionally unavailable. It's not about shutting yourself off from others. It's about knowing the difference between being emotionally available and sacrificing your own peace in the process. You must not let someone else's emotional turbulence pull you off course, no matter how alluring the storm looks. As you walk through life, especially when you're dealing with younger women, remember, this Stoic rule: never confuse emotional caretaking with emotional attachment. One is about providing stability and insight, while the other is about feeding an emotional need that doesn't serve you or her. The paths of wisdom are filled with lessons about boundaries, self-discipline, and emotional regulation. A Stoic man doesn't get entangled in drama because he understands that it doesn't lead to respect or true connection. His presence is like a lighthouse, standing firm, guiding others to safety, not swept away by every wave that crashes against it. So, what should you do instead? Be present. Listen. Yes, offer insight when it's needed, but don't let her emotional chaos define you. Be the one who offers wisdom without getting caught in the storm. A Stoic man knows when to offer a listening ear and when to step back and let her figure things out for herself. In a world that often confuses emotional dependence with intimacy, your challenge as an older man is to rise above that. Do not become her emotional sponge. Instead, embody the principles of practical stoicism. Stand firm in your emotional independence and offer calm, grounded support without letting her chaos absorb your peace. Respect and attraction will follow, but only if you remember that Stoic wisdom is about maintaining balance in the face of life's inevitable storms. In conclusion, don't let yourself be pulled into a one-sided emotional relationship. Be the calm presence that guides, not the emotional crutch she leans on. You must practice Stoic principles in every interaction, understanding when to be there and when to protect your own emotional peace. In the end, this is how you'll maintain a connection that's grounded in respect and wisdom, not in emotional chaos. 3. Never chase her validation. Older men often make a fatal error when engaging with younger women, they chase validation. This mistake isn't always overt. It may hide behind well-meaning compliments, over-explaining, or seeking reassurance that she still likes you. But underneath it all, the message is the same. Do you approve of me? The moment she senses this, the dynamic shifts, no matter your age, status, or experience. If you're orbiting around her opinion of you, you've relinquished control. You've made her the judge, the prize, and the one with all the power. Women, particularly younger ones, are instinctively sensitive to this imbalance. They may not always recognize it consciously, but they feel it. They can sense when a man bends for their approval, instead of standing firm in his own value. A true Stoic, however, does not seek validation. He does not need attention or constant praise to feel centered. His worth is not determined by anyone else. If she's interested, that's great. If not, that's equally fine. He moves forward, regardless. This is the essence of emotional self-sufficiency, magnetic, powerful, and attractive. While other men scramble for attention, sending multiple texts or trying to provoke a reaction, the Stoic man remains calm, unfazed, and centered. His strength lies in his unbothered energy. And it's not cold, it's rare. And rarity, my friend, is power. When you stop chasing her reaction, you shift the power dynamic. She's no longer the one deciding whether you're worthy of her time or affection. You've chosen yourself. The Stoic man follows Epictetus's wisdom. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. The Stoic does not chase. He stands firm, and in doing so, he becomes the one who commands respect, the one others naturally gravitate toward. So, when she leaves your message unread, don't double text, don't crack jokes or act passive-aggressive, stand your ground. Keep moving forward. While others fight for her attention, you remain the embodiment of control and independence. You've already chosen your path. She's left wondering why you aren't reacting like every other man, and in that moment, the power is yours. Let the world chase you, not the other way around. Always remember, in life, you either lead or you follow. In relationships, this principle holds true. Do not bend to anyone's will, especially not out of insecurity. Take advice from the ancient Stoics. You must be rooted in your own value. Your actions speak louder than words. You don't need her validation to validate your existence. Let her notice the man who doesn't need her approval, because this is the man she will always remember. The Stoic mindset will win you more than any desperate chase for attention. Victory lies in self-mastery. As Epictetus says, freedom is the only goal worth pursuing. It's time to stop seeking validation and start commanding respect. The power lies within you. If you found value in this, comment below and share it with someone who could benefit. Don't forget to subscribe for more wisdom. Comment to remember, I am a man of self-worth and emotional self-sufficiency. Let's discuss in the comments how embracing this Stoic mindset can transform the way you approach relationships. 4. Don't try to impress. Lead instead. When it comes to interacting with a younger woman as an older man, one of the biggest mistakes you can make is trying to impress her. The difference between impressing and leading is profound, and the mistake many older men make is getting caught up in the trap of impressing. This typically looks like listing off your accomplishments or dropping casual hints about the wealth you've accumulated, the places you've travelled, or the prestigious connections you've made. Sure, these things may seem impressive on paper, but they rarely have the impact you think they will. You see, women aren't as swayed by your resume as you might think. They aren't interested in a string of empty boasts, and they certainly don't fall for the hype of your words. They fall for the way you carry yourself, the subtle confidence in your actions, and the silent assurance that you know exactly where you're going. Impressing is rooted in insecurity, a need to seek approval and validation. It says, look at me, please, approve of me. On the other hand, leadership exudes quiet certainty. Leadership says, this is my path. You're welcome to join me if it resonates with you. It's not about convincing her to admire you. It's about showing her that you don't need her approval, because you're already sure of who you are and where you're headed. The more you try to prove your worth, the more you unintentionally highlight your own doubts and insecurities. And therein lies the paradox. Trying to impress her only reveals that you don't fully believe in yourself. This is where Old Stoic wisdom comes into play. Stoic principles teach us that the truly powerful man doesn't need to flaunt his achievements. He doesn't need to constantly seek validation from the outside world. Instead, he lives his truth, grounded in his own strength and clarity. An iron mind doesn't need to shout its value from the rooftops. It demonstrates it quietly, through actions, through a steady presence, and through leading by example. When you are grounded in your own path, your confidence is felt without ever needing to say a word. It's simply there, an undeniable force of nature. A younger woman, particularly one who is still carving out her own journey in the world, isn't looking for someone to dazzle her with flashy displays. She wants someone who provides stability, who offers clarity, someone who can anchor her in her own uncertainties. That kind of man is rare. A man who trusts his own path, who has the confidence to quietly lead, is the kind of man who naturally draws people to him. It's not about impressing her with material wealth or name-dropping the people you've met along the way. It's about showing up as the person you've already become, the one who doesn't need external validation because you know your own worth. Imagine the difference in a simple scenario. You're at dinner together. Instead of rattling off a list of your accomplishments or subtly bragging about your connections, you confidently order your meal, make eye contact with the waiter, and guide the conversation with a calm, assured presence. Your questions are thoughtful, genuine, and focused not on impressing her, but on understanding who she is and how her mind works. This is leadership. This is the kind of man who leads by example, not by exhibition. This is the Stoic man, living in alignment with his principles. When you lead, you create an energy that is magnetic. You don't need to try to get her attention because your presence commands it. The way you carry yourself, the confidence you project without saying a word, is what sticks with her long after the date is over. She won't remember the things you boasted about or the name drops you made. What she will remember is how she felt in your presence, steady, grounded, safe. That feeling will stay with her long after the dinner ends, and it's this kind of leadership that draws her in. So remember, don't seek to impress her. Lead with your actions, your calm, your clarity. Live by the old Stoic wisdom of quiet strength, and you'll find that the woman will follow, not because you've asked, but because she wants to. 5. Don't project long-term fantasies early. Men, especially older men, be careful. Danger lurks in the early stages of any relationship. It's easy to get swept up in the idea of what might be. But remember this, don't project long-term fantasies too early. One of the most hazardous traps you can fall into as an older man, especially when you're engaging with a younger woman, is to start envisioning a future together before there's any solid foundation. It starts innocently. You go on a few dates, share some meaningful conversations, maybe there's a spark, maybe even some intimacy. All of a sudden, in your mind, she's the one. But you're not living in reality at that point. You're constructing a dream world. You begin picturing what life would be like if she moved in, imagining how your friends would react, what kind of vacations you'd take together. You envision guiding her through life, helping her grow, shaping her into the person you want her to be. The future is already written in your mind, but wait, slow down. Stop for a moment and listen to the wisdom of the Stoic rules. This fantasy doesn't stem from the woman herself. It arises from something deep within you, a quiet loneliness, a hunger for significance, or perhaps the hope that she'll fill the void and give your life newfound meaning. But here's the bitter truth, you're not seeing her for who she is. You're seeing her as who you want her to be. That's the danger. When you project long-term fantasies onto someone who is barely a fixture in your life, you're no longer relating to her as a person. You're relating to an illusion you've created in your head. And it's a dangerous game. Stoicism teaches us to stay grounded in reality. In the world of practical Stoicism, we focus on the present. We're not distracted by fantasies or romantic illusions. Instead, we're mindful of what's real. Stay rooted in what's in front of you, not what could be. When you allow yourself to invest in an imaginary future with someone, you lose clarity, you overlook red flags, you ignore potential incompatibilities. Why? Because you're not engaging with who she truly is. You're attached to the story you're writing in your head. But when the story doesn't unfold the way you envisioned, when she doesn't fit your preconceived narrative, you'll feel hurt. That hurt isn't because she betrayed you, it's because you betrayed yourself. The reality is, a Stoic man knows the value of being present. He understands that true connection takes time, consistency, and clarity. There's no rush to start weaving an elaborate fantasy. Instead, he remains detached, observant, and engaged in the moment. It's only through time that you get to see someone for who they truly are, not for who you hope they might become. You may catch yourself thinking, what would she be like as a mum? Or, how would she fit into my family gatherings? These thoughts are seductive, but that's where you need to stop. Pull back, take a step back, stay curious, not committed. The allure of potential is powerful, but it often blinds you to the reality of the present. Don't fall in love with what could be, fall in love with what is. To be clear, real connections, the ones that last, are not built on fantasy. They're built on present reality. A man who follows the paths of wisdom stays engaged with what's true and tangible, not what's imagined. This is the core of practical Stoicism. It's the lesson of all wise men: do not rush to write the ending before you've read the first few chapters. You must learn to remain grounded in the present. Only through this clarity can you see her for who she is, not for the person you hope she will be. You must be patient, detached, and observant. That's the only way to avoid falling into the trap of false expectations and emotional investments that aren't reciprocated. When you're invested in reality, you're no longer driven by fantasies, no longer chasing after a mirage. Instead, you're living in the moment, knowing that true connection, genuine love, and lasting relationships grow from the soil of reality. So remember, Stoic wisdom isn't just for the grand moments in life, it's also for the small ones, the conversations, the first touches, the unspoken bonds. Be patient, trust in the journey. If you find today's content useful to you, don't forget to share your feelings and lessons with us, or simply comment, "Very cool." It's a great encouragement for our channel makers. Thank you very much. 6. Don't be her backup plan or emotional filler. Never allow yourself to become her emotional filler or backup plan. It's one of the gravest mistakes an older man can make in a relationship with a younger woman. You may not realize it at first. She texts when she's bored, calls when she's in crisis, or turns to you only when others aren't meeting her emotional needs. You might think that because you're older, wiser, and more patient, you can be the steady, reliable presence she needs until she's ready to settle down. But that mindset is poison. What's really happening is that you are being used as a placeholder, an emotional cushion that fills the gaps when things aren't going her way. And once the excitement with the men she truly desires returns, you are cast aside. This is a position you must never accept. A Stoic man does not cling to half-hearted interest or chase after fleeting affection. He does not let himself become someone's emotional safety net. As Epictetus wisely said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. You must recognize when the dynamic is unbalanced, and without drama or emotional turmoil, make the firm decision to step away. Your peace of mind and your dignity are not negotiable. You are not an option. You must be a priority. The moment you allow yourself to be reduced to this role, you begin to surrender your self-respect. You shrink your worth to merely remain in her orbit, knowing full well her attention is always elsewhere. The consequences are devastating. When she cancels plans with you but still seeks you out for late-night calls, or vents about other men, and tells you she always feels better after talking to you, this isn't affection. It's emotional utility. You're not the one she desires. You're simply the one who provides comfort when everything else falls apart. That might feel good in the moment, but it's ultimately a dead end. A Stoic man never orbits around someone else's chaos. He has built a life that is full, rich, and solid enough to stand on its own. He doesn't need to be chosen. He chooses what aligns with his peace and values. Anything less than that, and he walks away, calmly, decisively, without regret. The Stoic man knows that true power lies in self-respect, and when he walks away from being a backup, he restores his own worth. He no longer chases fleeting emotions or self-sacrifices for someone who isn't ready to invest in him. As Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Never allow yourself to be diminished by someone who cannot recognize your value. Win your peace. Win your freedom. Choose to walk away and become the master of your life. 7. Never lose your mission for her. It's one of the most destructive things you can do, especially as an older man, to abandon the purpose that defines you for the fleeting attention or affection of a younger woman. Young women often bring an electrifying energy, unpredictable emotions, and a surge of passion that can cloud a man's focus. But this is exactly when you must hold your ground. Don't fall into the trap of skipping your gym sessions because she wants to stay in bed. Don't delay important meetings or drop your commitments simply because her day has been tough and she needs your presence. Before you know it, little by little, your life will begin orbiting hers. Your goals will take a back seat. Your mission will fade, and your structure will soften. The edge that once made you an attractive, driven man, your sense of direction, your purpose, will start to disappear. That's the moment you begin to lose your essence. And let me tell you, when you lose that, you lose everything that makes you a man of value in her eyes. An older man, guided by old Stoic wisdom, understands that his mission is non-negotiable. His purpose is the bedrock of his life. Without it, he is adrift, vulnerable to the shifting emotional tides of whoever happens to be in his life at that moment. Women are drawn to men who have direction, who are actively building something for themselves, whether or not they are in a relationship. A man who loses sight of his mission in pursuit of temporary emotional connection does not attract love. He loses respect, especially from her. Even if she doesn't speak it out loud, she feels it when a man shifts his priorities away from his purpose to revolve around her. She no longer sees him as a leader. She sees him as someone willing to be led. And this shift changes everything. Consider the difference between a man who says, "I can't talk right now. I'm deep into a project," and the one who immediately drops everything, rearranges his entire life to cater to her every emotional need. The first man is living on purpose. The second is living for approval. And no matter how much you try to please her, she can sense that difference. If a woman truly cares for you, she will admire your discipline, even if it means less time spent with her. She respects a man who stands firm in his mission. But if you give it up for her, thinking that sacrificing your mission will make you more desirable, you'll find yourself disappointed. You won't become more appealing. You will just become another man who lost his way trying to earn something that can only be freely given. A Stoic man doesn't allow temporary emotion to derail him, especially when it risks lasting regret. He stays true to his path, no matter who may walk beside him. The Stoic principles of maintaining an iron mind and unwavering purpose must always guide you. That's the true power of a man, when he remains anchored to his mission, unshaken by the distractions that come his way. If you've made it this far, you're already on the right track to becoming a man of purpose, focus, and strength. Don't let anyone, especially a woman, derail your mission. Remember, true attraction comes from your direction, not your dependence. Please comment below with, "I will never lose my mission for anyone." Let's hear your commitment to staying grounded in your purpose. 8. Don't lose your sense of humor. As you get older, it's easy to get caught up in the serious business of life, especially when you find yourself engaging with a younger woman. You may feel the pressure to be seen as wise, mature, or even grandfatherly in a way that doesn't quite resonate with your true self. The age difference can seem daunting, and you might feel the urge to overcompensate by appearing serious or stoic. But here's the thing. Humor is a weapon of charm that you should never lose. That's right. Humor is not just for the young, and it doesn't make you less serious or wise. In fact, it's one of the most attractive traits you can offer, no matter how many years you've spent on this earth. As you age, you begin to understand something profound. Life is too short to be anything other than light-hearted, especially in moments that could use a little levity. Stoic rules tell us that we must accept the world's imperfections, and what's more imperfect than life itself, but it's in that very imperfection that we find humour. You may think, but I'm supposed to appear mature. Sure, maturity is important, but wisdom isn't about being a stone-faced sage. It's about knowing when to take life seriously and knowing when to laugh at its absurdities. That is practical stoicism in action. The ability to laugh at yourself, to not take the world too seriously, shows an understanding of life's complexities. It's a sign of inner peace and a connection to the paths of wisdom that teach us not to be consumed by what we can't control. Here's the key. Humour is not about pretending to be someone you're not. Don't use humour as a tool to prove that you're still cool or hip for your age. That's a trap that only weakens your authenticity. Be real. Your true self, with all its quirks and imperfections, is far more engaging than any facade you could create. The wisest of men know this well. The Stoic man understands that life is filled with ironies, mistakes, and contradictions, and the best way to navigate those is to embrace them with a smile. Remember, the Stoic rules don't demand you to be an impenetrable rock. They ask you to acknowledge life's unpredictability and take it in stride. When you approach life's little missteps with humour, you not only disarm tension, but also show your emotional resilience. You must never forget that humour doesn't mean belittling anyone, least of all the woman you're engaging with. Don't make her the punchline of your jokes. A true sense of humour is about finding shared moments of joy, laughing about life's shared absurdities, or poking fun at situations we all find ourselves in. Whether it's a ridiculous mistake at work, a misadventure with friends, or a light-hearted take on the world's unpredictability. These are the moments that form genuine connections. The key is balance. Yes, you must show your maturity, but don't abandon playfulness in the process. Be willing to crack a joke, to be a little silly when the moment calls for it. The man who knows how to laugh at life and himself is the one who creates an irresistible dynamic. It's not about trying too hard, it's about letting go and enjoying the moment. Remember, the Stoic man sees humour as a way to connect, not to impress or cover insecurity. This combination of maturity and lightness, wisdom paired with the joy of living, is what makes you magnetic. If you're constantly trying to appear serious, it can come off as stiffness or a lack of warmth. Don't close yourself off from the paths of wisdom that teach us how to approach life with joy, humility, and humour. So, don't take yourself too seriously. Don't get so caught up in the age gap or expectations that you lose sight of the most important thing. Enjoying the ride. Life may be challenging, but it's also hilarious if you know where to look. And the wise Stoic man knows exactly where to find that humour. 9. Don't let her control the tempo. This is a critical point that older men must grasp when navigating relationships with younger women. You cannot allow her to dictate the pace, particularly in the early stages. While it's essential to remain open and adaptable, your sense of timing, rhythm, and boundaries must be unwavering. Stoic wisdom, as taught by Epictetus, emphasizes that our control over our own actions and responses is paramount. In relationships, this control is everything. Don't let emotions, impulsive behavior, or fluctuating energy from her dictate how things progress. You must maintain the pace that serves you, not just her. When you allow a younger woman to dictate the tempo, you risk losing your sense of self, becoming reactive, not proactive. Whether it's how often you communicate, how quickly intimacy develops, or how fast the relationship moves, you must maintain control. The Stoic man is not swept away by the emotional tides. He remains steady, consistent, and centered. You see, younger women may be more impulsive, still navigating their own emotional landscape, and may rush into things or act unpredictably. cycling through periods of warmth and coldness. It's easy to be swept up in their passion, in their eagerness to move forward. But do not fall for this trap. You must stay grounded in your own pace, your own goals, and your own values. As Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. So, if her actions create turbulence, let it be her turbulence, not yours. Keep a steady hand on the wheel and let things unfold as they will, but on your terms. This is about mastering the rhythm of the relationship. If you let the other person set the pace, you risk being manipulated. You risk allowing emotional highs and lows to dictate your life. You must be aware of this. Control the tempo, and you control the outcome. The tempo you set allows for deeper respect, mutual understanding, and long-term connection. In modern life, where everything moves fast and people expect instant gratification, the Stoic approach is more important than ever. Relationships need time, steadiness, and trust to grow. They don't need haste or impulsivity. Let her be impulsive, let her chase excitement, but you remain firm. Slow the pace down when necessary, and let her follow your lead. You must embrace this Stoic mindset. You are the one who defines the rhythm. You must never let the emotional spikes, the highs and the lows, control you. Stay calm, maintain control, let your pace create stability. A Stoic man's rhythm is like a well-paced song, where every note is deliberate, every movement calculated. Don't let her decide for you. Don't be led by external forces. Instead, lead yourself. Only then can you create a meaningful and lasting connection based on true mutual respect and understanding. This is how you win in life, in relationships, in everything. Remember, you control your tempo. Set it, live it, win with it. Hey there, thanks for sticking with me until the end. So here's the truth, and I want you to sit with it for a moment. Being an older man in the presence of a younger woman isn't a disadvantage. It's a responsibility. You carry experience, stability, and presence she hasn't fully developed yet. That doesn't mean you're better. It means you know better. And with that comes the wisdom to not chase, not perform, not cling. You don't shrink yourself to fit into her world. You don't become her therapist, her emotional safety net, or her plan B. You don't seek her validation. And you definitely don't derail your purpose, trying to impress someone who hasn't even figured out who she is yet. You lead. You stand still. You offer calm. Not because you're trying to be anything, but because that's what you are. If you remember nothing else from this, remember this: women are drawn to men who are already full. Not needy, not reactive, not lost in fantasy. A Stoic man doesn't ask, "What does she want from me?" He asks, "Does this align with the life I'm building?" That one shift in mindset, that's what separates men who get lost in her story from the ones who write their own. And if you've ever felt that sinking feeling of giving too much, waiting too long, or sacrificing too deeply for someone who never asked you to, you're not alone. But it ends today. You don't need to become more, you just need to become still, focused, centered. Let her meet you there or let her pass. Either way, you remain who you are. If this message hit home, drop a comment and tell me what's the one mistake you've made before that you now recognize. And if you're serious about leveling up your inner world, not just your dating life, go ahead and hit subscribe because we're just getting started. Take care, and remember, stay grounded.